patrons, but they pay for a reason, so they're getting that exclusively. All right. Okay, let me just turn off a couple things here. Okay, good. All right. Okay. Oh shit. Oh no, that's fine.
Uh-oh.
No, we're good.
All right.
Not what I thought it was. All right, we are recording. Are we? We are. All right, here we go, everybody. Enjoy this episode of Core, which begins in 3, 2, 1.
It looks like we have an uninvited guest. Let's show her who's boss here. Catch her.
Hello and welcome to Core. Hey, it's Core, where we talk about video games and we have fun doing it. My name is Scott Johnson with Bo Schwartz and John Jagger, and welcome to episode 357. It is March 16th, 2023, and we're very happy to be here with you. We screwed up last week, though. We didn't even mention. I don't know how we did this, but we didn't even mention that Greg Ghostcrawler Street, formerly of Blizzard World of Warcraft fame, who went on to Riot, famously went to Riot, worked on League of Legends for years, and then was head of the yet unnamed, but definitely in development, League of Legends-based MMO, has quit. His last day is sometime early April at Riot, and then he's off to new adventures. And we didn't even talk about it. What is wrong with us? Why didn't we think of that? That's a big one. You guys came to the Nerdtacular that Greg was at. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I worried that he thought I was stalking him in an elevator.
Oh, that's right. That's you. I couldn't think of who the elevator story was. It was you.
That's me.
Yeah. Because he was in there the 2 times she got in the elevator.
Yeah, and close proximity, too.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't... the only reason I was in the elevator a second time is because I forgot something up in my room, and I had to go back, and he was in there again.
Yeah.
I don't know why he was in there twice.
Yeah. Well, according to Greg's social posts, and I've talked to him on the side. I don't know how much I can even share, but he's basically went through a lot of personal stuff recently, some death in his family and some other stuff, and I think he's just kind of rearranging what he wants to do and where he wants to be at the moment, and I'm excited for him. No idea what he's on to next, though. Like if it's going to be.
He said he was staying in video games.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Pretty
That
sure
we know.
Said that in his tweets.
Yeah. It'd be funny if you went back to marine biology, which was his original training. Anyway, we wish Greg...
It's time to go back to the sea.
We wish him the best of luck and think very highly of Greg, and I know he's going to do great, whatever it is. So good luck. It's your loss, Riot. Sorry. You and Tencent can suck it. You're losing one of the best devs ever. All right, time for this. All right. As we know, we got a big release coming up for a lot of Resident Evil fans, John being one of them. It's the Resident Evil 4 remake, which I'll probably end up playing just because someone will buy it and want to watch me.
Sounds so defeated. I'm probably going to have to
play that. I mean, I heard I was finishing my stream of Dead Space Remake the other day, and somebody in there, I think, said, well, I'm getting that for you. I'm like, okay, well, I've got like 8 days until I have to deal with it. But anyway, that game is anticipated highly by a lot of people who loved it back in the day, either the original GameCube release or subsequent releases. And
on everything. It was the original Skyrim.
That's true. And in a lot of ways it was. It got really spread around, especially recently. Like there's VR versions and up-resed versions for other stuff. And now this thing's like a complete remake in the vein of what we got with 2 and 3. It's weird that we never got one of those for 1. I know Zero
got that GameCube version.
Yeah.
And that has gotten, I think, a pretty loving PC port. So I kind of get the feeling that they consider that an official remake. It's not in the same style. It's a little more dated feeling because it's tank controls and all that. But right. I think that's what they consider the 1 remake.
Not that we are a show that generally relies on what's going on in Twitter posts or virality in that regard, but there is something that came up during the week where somebody said, specifically FPS Ethics, said...
FP Aesthetics.
Aesthetics, sorry. I see what they did. Yeah.
Becomes a pun.
It does. They posted the now, I think, somewhat famous use of Resident Evil putting big paint. What looks like somebody took a big paintbrush and just painted a yellow X on stuff you're supposed to break. A barrel, in this case, a crate, a couple of crates. What window to go through is one of these. And it sparked a ton of conversation. This thing got 16.3 million views and a lot of debate back and forth about not hand-holding us, but games that give you clear demarcation of what you need to do and where you should go is kind of what it's evolved into. So we thought it'd be fun to talk about it here. Personally, I like the big dumb yellow X on stuff in that game, not because it helps me know where I need to break. Usually I'll hit any barrel if I see it. For me, it's just kind of dumb, and I like it. You know what I mean? I like just going, I just came around this corner. Nothing's been in here for 1,000 years. Nothing but zombies and dead things. Oh, what's this? A giant X on a thing. I must have to, I like that as just kind of a cheese ball, breadcrumb in the game. But at the end of the day, that's kind of what this is. It's not that different than any other visual cue in a game where they're like, all right, well, that blinking red light must be something. I'll go over there and fiddle with it. Oh, cool. That opens the whole next area. Glad I saw that red light. To me, this is no different than that. So I know there's a lot of splitting hairs going on, but I thought it'd be fun to talk about. So let's start with John as the Resident Evil fan. Get it? What I did there with the two residents, because you're the resident and then the game. Has it ever bugged you that they held your hand like that, for lack of a better way of explaining it?
Well, I'm sure the internet is going to love that I'm taking a measured response to this and not diving heavy on an extreme with a hot take. Because I think the first thing I'm going to say is it depends. I think this is a great decision for some games. I think it's not a very good decision for others. I will tell you one of the first things I did, I'm going to be talking about it later, in the Resident Evil 4 demo is pull out my knife and poke a barrel that was not breakable in that game.
Right.
And I went, oh, all right. And then later I saw a barrel with a big yellow X on it, and I went, I bet that's breakable. And I poked it with a knife and it broke.
Yeah.
And I think in that regard, if you're going to have literally the same item and sometimes you can break it and sometimes you can't, I think having a big mark that denotes it is fine. I think it's good. In fact, I also will say that game plays at kind of a frantic pace. And I don't know how much of the game is going to feel that way, but the sequence that's in the demo is very run, go, hit this, do this, turn around, look at this, what's going on over here, block this guy, shoot this guy, run over here. Yeah. And if you're moving at a fast pace like that, something that is flashy that stands out as you can break this, you can do something with it, is very useful. So I think in the context of Resident Evil 4 Remake, I like that it exists. Whereas I do think that if I was maybe playing a game in VR, or I was playing a game that was more designed to immerse me in a world, I think I'd probably agree with the initial premise of the tweet, which is this kind of takes me out of it. This kind of is world breaking, and I don't really like it. But I don't see Resident Evil, especially Resident Evil 4, as being an immersive game where it's like, no, I gotta pretend like I'm not in a video game. Like, it's a video game.
Yeah.
And there's some stupid video game stuff in here. So marking the stuff that's breakable with a big yellow X doesn't seem like a cardinal sin to me.
Not to me either. And also, I would just add this before I throw it to Bo. We all go into a video game, and if we see a green barrel, we know we don't care. We see a red barrel, we immediately care. We would like to shoot that barrel and have it explode and kill things around it, right?
I played a game once where I shot a red barrel and nothing happened. And I'm not kidding. I was confused for a good minute solid.
Yeah.
It's like weird. going behind a waterfall and there isn't a cave back there. It's like, I don't understand.
It's a weird thing. It's very weird. It's discordant when the red barrels don't explode, having seen that a couple times myself. So, Bo, when it comes to video games and breadcrumbs, things to help you know where to go and what to do next and what to break open or not, does it take you out of the game a little bit?
I think in an immersive game it does, right? Because it's supposed to be immersive.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can, because like sometimes it's warranted, right? Like if not everything's interactable, please guide me. You know, there's a tasteful way to do it. I think in the best cases, what game designers are doing is highlighting things and you not noticing that you picked those things because they were high. Like you didn't intellectualize. You know how
Right.
you don't concentrate on breathing, but you do it.
Oh yeah.
So I think the idea is like, you should be noticing these things, but it shouldn't be so ham-handed.
Right.
That it's like, here, do this thing. Like it's always like, press F to interact. Just always kind of kills the soul, right? Like just anything, you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
anyways, I think that discourse reached a fever pitch with the release of Elden Ring, and they were making fun of Ubisoft games, and even in World of Warcraft, something is lost when you just feel like an Uber driver. Like here's the pickup, here's the thing to do, there's a place to drop it off.
Yeah.
It's like the magic of exploration is still a magic to be experienced, and I think that's as much true of terrain as it is of discovering what's in a game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could
You
see
know?
that. I mean, the thing is, though, we're also entering an era, we've already entered it, where games are starting to be filled with accessibility options. Some of them are similar to this. So you can go buy a modern Assassin's Creed game, and in the past you had a small map in the corner, could bring up the bigger map and look at everything that was everywhere, and you just see a million icons and activities to go do, and it was all laid out for you. You didn't have to do anything to do that. These days, you buy a modern one of those games, and one of the first things it presents you with is like, hey, do you want to go through this world blind? Basically, you don't want to. Do you not want to see all these activities? You want to discover them on your own 100% without any guiding. I think they call it unguided mode or something like that. And basically, you just turn all that stuff off, and you can be incremental about it. It's like, well, I want to see where major markers are, but I don't want to see where side quests are, whatever. You can kind of tailor your experience and play it more like kind of a Souls-like, where it's like, I don't know what's out there, I got to go find out. And I kind of prefer that, because then what you've said is, I would like this game to be playable by a lot of different tastes, schedules, abilities, all of that. Not to mention things like color blindness and otherwise impaired people who might need different controller setups or whatever. I like that. I prefer that. So it'd be cool, for example, if this remake of RE4 had an option in the visual menu or something that said yellow X marks breakables. Toggle that on or off. And then you've got this is just the example we're using. It's kind of a dumb one, but there's your way of bridging the gap and saying, well, if you want to make sure you're never missing possible inventory increases or whatever, leave that on. But if you want to have the mystery of it all and not really know what you're swinging at, and you're not sure if that box is going to open or if you missed one or whatever, you want that experience and the quote unquote more immersive experience, well, then that's an option too. So for me, that's the best of both worlds. If things keep going the way they're going, that's how this stuff solves itself in the future. And there may even be a scenario where you're playing a Doom game and the exploding barrels are the same color as any other barrel because you've toggled off them being red, therefore they won't explode. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I
give
mean,
me
I
the
think
choice.
yes, in a perfect world where you can toggle literally anything, like more options are better than not in some cases.
Yeah.
Unpopular internet opinion, I do think there is merit to having games that just go, no, this is the game. You're going to have the exact same experience playing it as anybody else playing it.
Yeah.
I do think accessibility for people that have disabilities or handicaps, I think that's always good. But as far as like game options, I think having something that is just like, no, the experience is the experience and it's what it is. I think there's merit to that existing. Just like I think that there is merit to games going, no, we want a really customizable experience, go hog wild. But obviously not every game does that, and I don't know enough about game dev to say like how easy is it to just enable all those options across the board. I would guess it's not a super easy thing to do.
Yeah.
So while it's certainly the ideal, I don't think that it's something that's viable for every single video game that comes out. And I think that's why you kind of just have to pick your points. I don't think Resident Evil 4 is a very good example, because I think there's a million things in Resident Evil 4 that makes you say, like, oh, well, immersion's already out the window. When bullets land on the ground, a pillar of red light comes up like Diablo loot just dropped out of a human being. Like, there's plenty of things in that game besides yellow paint that wreck immersion that are just pretty standard in that series. But you might not feel that way if you were playing, Elden Ring is a good example, where you don't want a lot of hand holding, because so much of that is about discovery. Part of what made my experience with Elden Ring so good was, oh my gosh, I did this and it did something.
Yeah.
Like, I did that organically and I took the time for it. You don't want that necessarily in a Doom game that's about running super fast and shooting super fast. You want visual language that tells you, I shoot this barrel, the barrel goes boom.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm making decisions on a fraction of a second. I just want to look at it and know what it's going to do. I don't want to sit there and be immersed by the barrels,
Right. That's a good way of putting it. Nobody really wants to be immersed by the barrels, potentially, right? Like,
Yeah.
I just finished Dead Space Remake. Here's a good example. And you guys beat it already like a month ago, but I spread it out over a streaming schedule, and I really enjoyed my time in there. Loved it, and would play 2 and 3 if they remake them. Anyway, there's that thing where you throw down a little neon light that points you in the direction to go if you're lost. It's like, and didn't seem very common in games until that point. Feels like that game maybe even invented this UI element. But for me to just go boot and have it go schmirk, and now there's a thing that says go down this hall and turn right. That would have, without that, I think that game's nearly unplayable, because I know there's somebody who's beat the whole game without ever using it. Okay, I know you exist, but I would not have enjoyed myself if I constantly was lost, because that game, every room looks like a nasty, disgusting, freaking alien shithole, and for me to know where I need to go next and where to backtrack and where was I again, and just have to use the map as a way to do it, nightmare scenario. Can't do it. It would have been the worst. So I'm kind of for this stuff where it makes sense. You don't want to overdo it, or else it's just, you don't want to make a clicker, like Cookie Clicker, the video game. Before you know it, it's just doing everything for you. I don't want that. Some people do, but I want to have some options. So anyway, I'd love to hear people's thoughts. Send them in to our text line or our email address, which we'll get to later, because you should have a say in this discussion. Let us know what you think. All right. How about this? A patron question. Oh, shit, I forgot to grab it.
Just want to check in because we had an assignment at the start of the show, and
Yeah.
I'm going to stop and concentrate on Core. I was using GPT to try to program Pong. What a useless pile of shit ChatGPT is.
Oh, and now
Oh,
keep
boy.
in
It's
mind
got everything
you're using,
wrong. I'm having to work way too hard on it, and it doesn't help me with my answers. So, yeah, these salespeople, I think, are kind of lying.
Well, keep in mind you're using 3.5. It's 4 that's supposed to be insane.
Would have been way faster just to do it myself.
Yeah.
Give them $20 and find out, Bo. Let's just
Yeah, $20 for 4.0.
double down on it. Spend money on it now.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Don't believe the hype. I think this is the new NFT. I think this is the new NFT metaverse thing, and there's a lot of hype behind it. And it's not. It's still great, but it's not going to be as good as. I don't know. I don't trust people.
Kentucky Fried Computer says make better prompts or use better prompts. Now,
It's easier to write the code. It's Pong. Like it's like the opposite of is what if the calculator made you take an hour to do 4 divided by 2? That's what it feels like.
yeah, no, I get it. I mean, yeah, like
Play baseball underwater. Like that's
sure.
what it feels like.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, it's in some infancy stage business here, but apparently, I mean, I've been following the 4.0 stuff since it hit yesterday or whatever. There's some pretty crazy shit in there. And someone did make Pong in like 10 minutes. And what I really wanted to say was Kentucky Fried Computer is not actually wrong here. There is an argument to be made for how good are you at prompting the output.
Like
Not saying
that
you
guy,
bad,
like
but-
maybe, but like it's being sold as something that's of value to me. So I asked it for lottery numbers. Can't give me any lottery numbers. I asked it for to program Pong, not programming Pong. Pong. I'm like, I don't need this shit. It
Yeah.
doesn't seem good at all. It seems
Doesn't
like
seem
trash.
that great. Yeah. Well, time will tell.
Yeah. So
Um,
I guess if they make it better for the average idiot like me, then there you go.
Today's Patreon question this week is from Richard Neller or Kneller, just probably Neller. The K is probably silent.
Yeah, probably a silent K.
He says, any game. It's more of a special K. You know. Never mind. That's a cereal here in the States, but Bo won't know what we're talking about. Maybe you have special K up there. Do you have what's the hot grandma cereal of Canada? What do you
Like
what do you
the
got?
drug Special K.
Oh, is that a thing? Wait.
Oh no, there's a cereal called Special K. Yeah, we've had Special K. Yeah,
Okay.
Kellogg's. It's the healthy version of the same shit that's in cornflakes.
Yeah, it's a
Like
cornflake.
they don't encrust it as much with sugar, is my understanding with
Yeah.
Special K.
Yeah. I think
But they
that's
used
right.
to sell it like part of a healthy. You you want to be healthy? Oh, no. Here, don't eat those cornflakes. Have Special K. It's literally the same trash cat food.
Yeah, they know how to get you.
Or fish food.
Fish. Ew,
Anyway.
It's even worse.
They're delicious. Actually, Special K and cornflakes are great though.
All right. Well, both a biting commentary and a resounding endorsement. Of all things Kellogg's. Anyway,
trash.
Richard Neller wrote in and says, any game franchises you will always 100% buy into. I mean, I don't even feel like John should get to answer this because we already know the answer.
What?
Because it's got 2 F's in it, and it's the rest
Yeah,
of
we
it
don't
is-
want to say its name lest we invoke the terror.
It
What?
rhymes with
Schmeinel Schmamamy.
Schmeinel Schmamamy. Yeah.
There are a ton of Final Fantasy titles that come out that I have not played and don't own.
All right, so this is good to know. So, all right, let's start with you. What is 100%? Every time you hear about it, oh, they're doing a sequel, it's part of a franchise, long running or not, you are in 100%. What is it?
I can give you a few.
Go.
Civilization.
Okay.
I will always buy the new Civilization game.
I'm into that.
I haven't even played it recently. They're like, we're making a new one. I'm already in.
Yeah.
Gonna do it.
Yeah.
The Chrono series. It's only 2 games, but I love Chrono Trigger. I love Chrono Cross. I was really excited for Chrono Break when it was a rumor. It never came out.
Oh,
But if they ever make another Chrono game, I will check it out for sure.
yeah.
And any mainline Final Fantasy title.
All right, fair enough. I think that's good. I would say Diablo. I will always play a Diablo game.
I mean, apparently, Diablo 4 is that would be mine too. Like, Diablo 4 is really testing me, but considering I pre-ordered the stupid thing,
Yeah.
like a hypocrite loser,
Yeah.
apparently I'm going to play Diablo 4.
Yes,
Ugh.
you will be playing Diablo 4. I even
Tomorrow, as a matter of fact.
I even played Diablo Immortal for a hot second. So-
Oh, I played Diablo Immortal 2. Gross.
Yeah, see, you're committed. That's one you should put on your list. That's one for me. Zelda is one I would put on there, even the ones I don't like. Like, I think Skyward Sword's a little rough, and I think Twilight Princess is a little samey. I mean, there's certain entries, the breaking weapons and Breath of the Wild and all that, but it doesn't matter. Whatever the next one is, I'll get it because that's how that'll go. Bo, do you have a series that you're just
I feel
always
like
on?
it's Diablo, considering how much I paid for the damn beta this weekend.
It's a lot, right? It's expensive.
I went the whole hog too. I'm like, I'm already
Oh,
spending.
he went whole hog. He went top tier.
So wait,
I would-
how much is that Canadian? I'm just curious what that is.
I don't even want to say it, you guys.
It's over
Same as
$100.
Lifetime subscription to Star Trek Online.
Well, that was like 200 and something, right?
I can't
290.
remember, but it broke $100.
Wow.
$129.99.
Wow.
Because I'm gonna play 4 days early. I hope it's good.
I have a feeling it will be, but it's a
I
lot
like
to ask.
Diablo. Diablo is always, like franchises like Diablo for sure.
Yeah. Do you have any
And I
others?
think
Where it's
the
just
other
like-
one is, well, right now it's like anything Larian does, I will definitely buy.
Yeah, that's good. Larry,
Well,
you
it
could
That's true. Anything Supergiant Games puts out, I would play.
Sure. And
Like,
I can't
even
really
though
say
it's
that because
sight
I've
unseen.
passed on a lot of their games, but Hades sure was. I'll be buying Hades 2 as soon as possible.
yeah,
I don't think there's like a franchise over the years, but I'm kind of stingy and cheap and curmudgeon-y.
yeah.
Like franchise, I'm just trying to think. Like
Lake
I don't
Lake
know.
Run
Half-Life.
2, Half-Life.
Like I change interests over time, right? Like
Like
there's
any
a period of
normal
my
person.
time that I had to own every new Magic release, and then I stopped playing Magic the Gathering. Like something that's persevered. I don't know. It's Diablo. Over the years, I've played all the Diablos.
Yeah.
And it's prescient. So
So,
Yeah.
okay, you will always 100% buy into. Does that mean that you just buy it? Doesn't matter how you feel about it, or do you have to have loved every game in the series?
No, I don't think you do. I think
No,
when he
I don't
says
think
100% buy into, that means you buy into it whether you've had a perfect experience or not. You're just always there for it.
I didn't spend any money on Diablo Immortal.
True. You didn't.
So
I did play. I played it. I mean, you did play it.
I did
Yeah.
play it.
Yeah.
I hate played it. I did the equivalent of hate watching.
Yeah, you hate played it, but you still played it. And that to me
Yeah,
says that's someone
true.
committed to a franchise because he's at least willing to look at that thing.
Yeah, it was relevant enough to you that you had to see it and feel the heartbreak.
Well,
rather than
I
just
knew
watch
I was
it.
gonna bitch about it, and I wanted to at least say that I've played it because usually that's the first thing you get is, "Did you play it?"
Yeah. No, I
And I
get it.
wanted to be able to tell those people, yes, I did, and it wasn't even a good game, not about the microtransactions. It was a bad game on top of microtransactions.
Like I understand the rationale for thinking that it doesn't count, but it does count.
in
Like,
large
that's
amounts.
That's still a valid reason that puts you in the. You've always got to check it out.
Sure.
All right, fair enough.
In that count.
But
camp
I
anyway.
understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I hope that answers your question there, Richard. Clearly, we're in agreement on the Diablo side of things, so maybe you are too. Tomorrow will be a big day for all those KFC people who bought the Double Down, gave themselves diarrhea. Well done, everyone.
Put themselves one step closer to seeing Diablo himself.
Yep. Go on. Yeah. Breaking through the veil of the high heavens or the burning hells. I don't know how your life's been up to this point. I don't want to judge.
if you're buying a double down so that you can pre-order Diablo
Yeah.
and get into the beta,
I feel like you're on one side.
I feel like I made a accurate statement.
Yeah, you've made a choice.
And maybe you're a young man though, and that's what you got. You're doing what you got to do to get, get in.
Maybe you'll show up and
Or young lady.
Imperius will be there at the gates. Imperius will go. He'll see you eating that sloppy freaking mayo covered 2 pieces of chicken gnarly sandwich and go, sacrilege. And then you'll get sucked down into the burning hells. And immediately you're going to have to have anal sex with Asmodan. That's the rule. As soon as you get there.
Well, I mean, the good news is you'll have practice fighting the hordes of evil.
Giving or receiving?
The bad news is if you're going down there with your double down, you're more likely to get down there and first thing you'll hear is fresh meat.
Yeah.
You'll have to deal with that guy.
Oh, but to answer Bo's question, giving or receiving, I think you should be forced to give Asmodan what he
Like,
wants.
It seems like a comfortable place to lay.
Yep.
So I don't know. I don't know. He's probably a good cuddler.
He's a big dude. You could hang off of
Bo's
his nipple
looking at
rings.
him like a big beanbag.
You think his nipple rings are far enough apart I could grab him like this? Nipple ring left hand, nipple ring
Like
right
Tom
hand.
Cruise in Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah, just hanging off of Asmodan's
Yeah,
nipples.
he's really big.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
you
I'm into
probably
it.
could play some Bionic Commando on his nipple ring.
What? What a
You go
weird reference.
Yeah, like he could be a whole Bionic Commando level.
Oh my gosh. I love Bionic Commando. What a great game that was.
Oh yeah.
The remake or the retry to remake it wasn't that great, but the old game, whew, real good. All right. Well, we hope that answers your question. Now this. Oh, that's cool. Wait, is that the? Yeah, that's our thing. It's time to do what we played this week, and I'm going to start. All right. We didn't have any shared games, so I'm going to get right into this.
Work harder.
Hotel Renovator. Hotel
Oh,
Renovator. It sounds like a shorecore game. Well, it is. It is exactly
You
what
know,
that is.
you're the Mike Rowe of video games.
Okay.
Micro?
And
does
then
that
what
mean?
is dirty work or what? What do you
Dirty
think?
jobs. You
No, it's
just
just
in
jobs.
there.
Yeah.
Dirty Games with Scott Johnson.
Yep, that's me. So this game comes out. I should mention the dev sent me a code. Didn't know what to think of it. I hadn't heard of it prior to me receiving the code, and I thought, well, looks like it's up my alley, though. I like this kind of crap. So I got in and played. And I am here to tell you that I think this is a really fun, goofy game. It is what you think it is. You go into this like dilapidated, a horrible freaking hotel that's like all gone to crap. It looks like a crack house. But it's big, and you got multiple floors you got to deal with and all that, and all these rooms. But it's all
The hotel
junk.
from The Shining.
I mean, no, but it's got. I mean,
It
my
looks like the hotel from The Shining.
my choice of floor here, because I made that flooring,
Oh, okay.
was kind of based on that. Because prior to this, it was all torn up. Because you go in there and you actually take a crowbar to everything and break it all and destroy it all. What's
Oh, so
in
it's
there?
Half-Life 3.
So it's Half-Life 3, exactly. I made that joke many times streaming it because you really do feel like Gordon Freeman with his fancy tool. Anyway, there's more to it than that. You paint walls, you tile floors, you do you pick what carpet you want, the furniture, all the accessories, all that stuff. I'm playing the story mode, which means I kind of have rules to follow. It's like, all right, well, we got these people that want to stay, but the room needs to be totally renovated before they get here. And then when they get here, they're going to have a what do you call it? A bachelorette party in the room. So you need to have certain kind of balloons in there. Like there's all these things they want you to do. So John, you've had experience with like House Flipper. Think that, but in a little more broad way. Like it's, as you can see right here, I'm putting flooring and wall stuff up just by pointing at the wall with a pencil, and it's just doing it. And it's kind of cool because
Gordon Ramsay ever show up and criticize your hotel stylings?
No, but some other people did. They just weren't Gordon Ramsay. There was a
Okay.
guy that looked a little like Dog the Bounty Hunter. He freaked me out.
Oh no.
Yeah, I didn't like that guy. But you're just doing these jobs, trying to get revenue happening, and you're slowly earning money in your hotel as soon as the first room's done. And then you got to go clean those rooms sometimes so that they maintain their level of money making and all of that. Here's what sets it apart, because you've heard this 1,000 times. You know a lot of games are like this already. This, by the way, was in the process of the game where I didn't realize I could do a whole wall in one poke. I was doing it all by hand like this. Turns out all I had to do was like switch the tool, and then it would do the whole wall at once, and I didn't know that. But anyway, going through this game, weird shit happens. So the very first thing that happens in this hotel is you are told to go get a chicken and throw it outside. This is what you heard at the top of the show.
It looks like we have an uninvited guest. Let's show her who's boss here.
All right.
Catch her.
There's just a chicken upstairs in this hotel running around. You got to grab the chicken, go to the open window, and toss it. Job number 1, done. You've taken care of the chicken.
That's a little weird.
It is really weird. That's not that weird compared to what I am going to tell you, though. So I'm playing the game. It's very gamified. They want it to be fun, which I appreciate. I don't want shorecore that isn't actually fun to do the things you're doing, right? You want to have a good time doing it. Oh, look at this guy. Anyway,
Who is this guy?
It's
Why
just-
is he in there?
there's 2 of them. They look like the same. They're just people. They're in there walking around. They're patrons. Like this room is open, and that's him staying in that.
Why
room.
is your hotel open in this state, Scott?
This again? This is where the game is weird. It doesn't care about those kind of details. It's like, oh, the room is done. Cool. A guy will be in here immediately. Oh, you need to sweep? Guess what? All the furniture will rise from the ground like some kind of magic, so that you can properly mop under everything. Like there's
Oh my goodness! Even the toilet.
Yeah,
Is
even
that
the toilet.
A jelly bean wall? What the hell was
yeah,
that?
I made a jelly bean wall. You have all kinds of wall coverings you can choose from.
How whimsical.
It is very whimsical. There's even a hammer eventually where you can hit the floor, and the entire floor will clean up at once, or all the tile will break at once, and then you can sweep all at once, and you get these cool upgrades. It's all very surreal and strange. But here's where it gets weird. At one point, I'm told to go into the basement and get some stuff, and I hadn't been in there before, so I go down to the basement, and there's a guy down there named Vlad, who's like, I think this is good hotel for me to come to visit this hotel. He's like doing this Russian accent.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, okay, cool. I don't know why you're down here, but anyway, I'm trying to get this thing out of this box. And I open this big long box and I clear the crap out of it and I find the item that the bellhop needs that he asked me to go do. It's like a little quest. And I do that. As soon as I stand up, I see Vlad saunter over to the box and lay in there and pull it shut because he's a vampire.
Yep.
Yep. So that was
So-
weird. And it never came up again. He's still down there. Can't reopen it. He's just in there. I don't know if it comes up again later or not, but it was weird as hell. Super non sequitur. And I thought, well, that's probably the weirdest thing this game's going to do to me. Nope. I'm playing the game again, and I hear there's another chicken upstairs. The voice goes, "Oh, we got another chicken to deal with. You better go upstairs and take care of that damn chicken." So I said, all right, I'm going to go take care of the chicken. I go upstairs, I find the chicken, and the chicken's laying on the floor with 2 giant dice, 6-sided dice on the floor in the hallway. And I'm like, well, those weren't here before. And the voice comes over and goes, hey, this chicken wants to play a game. You should play the game with the chicken. And I went, oh, shit. Okay, well, I'm going to do that, I guess. So then I had a roll off with this chicken to see who would roll the highest from their die. I had the green one, he had the white one. And we had this contest to who would roll the highest number. And
What
that
are the
went on for
stakes?
5 rounds. It made no sense. Still to this minute, I don't know what the hell happened there. So then that happened. And then I find out a band wants, before I tore all this up in here in the lobby, which I'm now redecorating, it used to be just dilapidated and there was furniture everywhere and old wallpaper and it just looked ugly, like decades had passed and nobody had updated the look or whatever. So I figured at some point I got to clear all that out. Well, this band wants to come perform in the lobby while I'm doing the work. That's what the message said. So I said, okay, cool, I'll do that. So to do that, I had to set up a camera, 2 microphones, and some lighting. That was the requisite. As soon as I did that, door opens and these weird people walk in and they start doing a concert. There's nobody there. They're just doing a music video. And they're all singing and dancing and doing this. I'm like, well, this is fine. Whatever this is, I'll just kind of watch this for a minute. The girl, toward the end of her song, pulls a giant stick of dynamite or a pack of sticks of dynamite out of her pants, throws it in the air, and in slow motion style, I see this thing kind of fly up in the air into the camera, and then the screen goes white. And I'm like, did I lose? Like, what happened here? I don't know what I did. All that did was take all the tile off the floor, all the paint off the ceiling, all the wallpaper and furnishings out of there. It just cleared out the lobby so it was time for me to decorate it. Weird, right? Weird. That's a weird thing to do in your game that's about redecorating a hotel.
Well, sometimes bands destroy hotels.
I guess they do, and that was the joke that they were trying to tell. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't want to seem like I figured this out.
Yeah. There's a lot I don't know, and there's a lot I don't understand still about the game. There are times where I'm like, wait, you want me to put neon decorations in here and they don't tell me where they are? So talk about not holding my hand. I got to go find this stuff. But it's all there. And there is one really satisfying thing when you put this flooring in and you do a bunch of it at once. It's not going to do it here. Oh, there it is. He did the whole room. So if you do the whole room, then you back out and now you can see all the tile dropping. It's like,
Yeah.
it's just got this satisfying, like, stuff is assembling itself like magic kind of thing going on.
That is kind of neat.
It is pretty neat. Anyway, it scratches all those like house flipper itches, but for what I've really come away with is that this developer is weird and they want to do weird things that are outside the norm, and so they keep doing that, and it keeps being weirder, and I kind of appreciate it for that. I'm not super far in. I played about 4 hours. I did it all on stream, so it's all up on the YouTube channel if you want to see what this game's like. But if any of that sounds interesting, then you're good to go. And it also does not care about your style or your sense of style.
Okay. It's not. You can
No,
make
it really
whatever
doesn't
the
sound
kind
that
of
way.
hotel you want.
You can. I went in there and made the ugliest freaking bathroom at one point. It was so bad. Just the worst color clashes, nasty furniture, an old bucket for a toilet, like just the shittiest thing. And the place was like, all right, ding, nicely done. A new tenant will be moving in today. Like they were super stoked about it. So it's one of those, which is house flippers like that. You know, they have requirements, but they don't really judge you on how you laid anything out or anything like that. So it's that kind of game. I really like it. I think it's great, and I hope to keep playing it. There are a couple of bugs. I had to reboot for some missing UI once, and I can't remember what the other thing was. I may have crashed one time, but it's brand new. In fact, I'm not even sure you can get it. I know it's on the store, so you must be able to get it. Okay, yeah, maybe I got it early and now it's out. But anyway, it is called Hotel Renovator, and I had a lot of fun playing this game. And we'll probably.
So there's just like, but you find a lot of games like this, right?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes they just get sent to me.
There's just a whole pile of developers that also like making this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, which is fine, but I'm just saying it's like,
it's weird.
It's not like you play one. You play a lot of them that are like, we're gonna make a game, and we're gonna have this girl have sticks of dynamite at the end of the thing. Like,
yeah.
It's just the whole thing.
It's a weird. It's a whole. The whole thing is a weird zone, a weird vibe. Maybe this is where AI starts making video games. They just make chorecore.
Cool,
yeah, I like them. I find them cathartic and chill, and I can have something on TV behind me. And this one has just managed to weird me out a couple of times. Oh, there was another one where the elevator broke, and I had to hire a handyman to come do it. It's going to cost me $500. So I did it, and here's what I hear. I hear the elevator going bang, 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 like somebody's hammering something. But then the elevator opened, and this old man in overalls, like a farmer, came walking out of there and just started walking around going. And while he's doing that, he's the fixer-upper guy. While he's doing that, I'm still hearing this ghost hammer in there banging on this.
It is haunted. It is The Shining.
It is kind of that, or at least it's janky enough to feel a little haunted, and I appreciate it for that. So anyway, had a really good time with it. We'll see if that vampire ever comes up again, because he's in the basement just hanging out. All right. I also played, I'm excited about this because I just think you guys will like it. But if we haven't had enough Vampire Survivor likes in our lives, I got a new one for you to check out. So this is currently free, and it is in alpha. It says right in the corner, alpha build or something. If you ever thought you wanted your Vampire Survivors to be mashed up with your Diablo 1, Diablo 2 game, like faithfully from a visual and sort of graphic standpoint, then
so instead of ripping off Castlevania, it's ripping off Diablo 1.
Yeah, big time.
Oh wow, look at this.
Yeah, look at the little pixelated stick guy walking. This is the archer, which is also my preferred class. I think the tank's fine, but I've only unlocked the archer, so I can't say anything about new ones or later classes. I haven't gotten that far, but it is what you think it is. You walk around and you're shooting skeletons and demons, and none of it looks to be art that was lifted from Diablo. Like, it's not like these aren't the sprites from the game, but they are clearly.
They are so close in some regards. Like, they are. Oh yeah. They are really in the business of it. I mean, same with Vampire Survivors. Everybody says, they just lifted everything from Castlevania. They didn't, but it is in the exact same vein in a lot of regards.
Yeah.
And this is definitely that for Diablo. This looks awesome.
It's awesome.
And once again, I'm gonna be a little mad and say, Blizzard, look, I know you're busy making Diablo 4.
Yeah.
But you could literally make like Diablo 1.5 and make a survivor-like game like this.
Yep.
Tell the story of the fall of the 3 heroes of Tristram, the events that happen between Diablo 1 and 2, seen as you always die in a survivor-like game at the end anyway. It would make sense, fit your lore, your deep Diablo canon here.
Yep.
And you guys should be the ones making this.
Yeah, you would make a lot of money. You could sell it for 10 because you're Blizzard instead of 3 like everybody else, and you would make so much effing money overnight.
Yeah, it wouldn't, and that's how long it would take you. Bo will tell you it takes a couple days. Just build it. Just do it. You already have the art assets because you own Diablo.
That's right.
Just do it.
Yeah. This game.
But I mean, it seems too simple for it to work. I try to imagine myself working there being like, we can't get away with this.
Yeah, maybe
we're gonna sell it for $19.99. Everyone's gonna be
I think they could do
Modern
it.
Blizzard can get away with this. Modern Blizzard has nothing to brag about right now.
Yeah.
They need to just farm wins is what all their goals should be.
Yeah.
But I
They-
think they'll
they-
get accused of copying, like, right? Like, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, you ripped off." Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
those-
guess
those
what?
gonna
Their
let them get
entire
off easy.
company is built on ripping off.
Yeah.
Warcraft,
Well, now,
StarCraft.
come on.
Warcraft and StarCraft are direct ripoffs of Warhammer and Warhammer 40K. They'll even tell you
Yeah.
that. They were building a Warhammer game when they decided to not do it, canceled the contract, and made Warcraft 1.
I know, but like between the ripoff and the final product, some effort occurred.
I do
In the middle
agree.
area?
That doesn't mean they can't spend effort on this. I'm not saying they should make literally
I'm just saying,
this game.
if a hot game comes out Monday and then on Friday Blizzard's selling it, I don't know. I don't know if they don't suffer reputational damage. That's all I'm getting.
Yeah, they might get.
they have
grief
no
for that.
reputation to damage.
I'm in the middle there on this. I agree.
I'm
that
saying
it's,
okay,
there's a
like,
limit.
and I was
There's a limit.
framing this like if I was working there, that would be like on my mind. You
Right.
know, like I feel like, you know,
Sure.
I get your point though. Yes, it could take a weekend.
As long as they can put this game out without sexually harassing anybody, they'll be fine.
Yeah, they just
it
need
will
to
be no problem.
just don't touch anybody inappropriately while you make your $10
Don't drink
game.
anybody's breast milk. Just build the game,
Yeah.
and you'll be okay.
Yeah.
And things will improve for you.
And I'll buy this game if you do that, Blizzard. I'll buy your game. Here's the thing, though. This is what the other cool thing I mentioned. You may have seen it here just a second ago in the video. When you level up, those are all gems instead of XP, whatever's. Sometimes health bottles will drop, and those are great because when you pick them up, they do the whole thing that you hear in Diablo all the time, especially old Diablo. It's a great little sound effect. It seems to be theirs though, and not directly ripped off, so that's kind of good, I guess. Anyway, this, as you see, at the level ups, you're getting these perks, right? That's your Vampire Survivor thing. You get perks when you level up, make you more strong, more abilities, more powers, whatever. That's all here. But when you kill mini boss types, they leave that little thing there. You grab it. Those are a big deal because those are major jumps in power.
Right.
Then all around the level, you can see one right in the bottom. It's pointing to the bottom right of the screen, and he's not going there yet, but he will shortly. That's a loot indicator, and that just means that down there somebody has dropped a weapon or some gear of some sort. And that's where it really gets feeling like Diablo, because you'll go pick up that gear and it's like, oh, there's boots, there's a helm, and there's a pair of gloves, and they're going to give you different perks as you hover over them and stats, just like you'd expect. Mm-hmm. And then you choose which one you're going to put in that time. You only can choose one, and then it puts it in that slot. And so throughout the game, you're upgrading your slotted items or replacing them with better loot. So it's got a little bit of that juice in it. The actual Diablo part of Diablo, where you want to improve your gear, and it's also hard. I'm not hard in a like impossible way, but hard. It's hard. Like I feel like I'm not really great at this yet, but I had so much fun playing it. It also runs perfectly on Steam Deck, but I would not recommend it if you go back and forth because the cloud saves don't work yet. So it's just something to be aware of. It's an alpha.
Looks
after all.
awesome though. So
Yeah.
It's free though.
Is it early access or is it full?
It's
full
free. I don't know if it'll always be free, but it's currently free and listed as an alpha. But I don't think I guess I could look it up. I don't know if they have it listed as early access or not.
It is listed as early access.
Is it? Okay. That makes sense.
Early access game.
So this is Halls of Torment. If I didn't say the name, I don't think I did.
Oh,
And it's the music, the sound effects, everything about it, minus the gameplay, feels like Diablo, and the gameplay obviously feels like Vampire Survivors, and it works for me, and I really like it. So I can't wait to see where they go with it. And
John, you're for sure gonna try this. This looks pretty cool.
oh, you got to try it. You guys have to
I'm
try
gonna
it.
try this. Yeah.
It's freaking free.
Yeah.
So
Free.
no
It's
harm.
a price I can afford.
Yeah, no harm in trying something that's otherwise free. I don't know if it's free because they are just doing that for this stage of development and they're just like, well, we may as well just get as much beta testing as we can, or if they always intended to be free because they don't want Blizzard down their pants.
I mean, I hope that it becomes a purchase game.
Yeah.
That probably means not a lot of bullshit is going to wind its way into the game.
Yeah.
At some point, they're going to want money for something.
Yeah, somebody needs to make some money somewhere. But it is good. I like it. It's fun. I mean, if you're like, "Wow, this is just like all the other ones," yeah, I know they're all kind of cloning each other gameplay wise, but there's some neat
They're
twists
all
in this
kind of
one.
fun.
Yeah, having all kinds of fun with it. And finally, I don't know how many games this is this year. 2 that I beat, but anyway, I beat Dead Space Remake
Nice.
this week. Yeah, with my daughter at my side, we played the
There
whole
you
thing together. Had total blast playing that game. I never got through the whole thing the first time because I don't remember what happened. But I got obviously I finished it, so I got way further this time. But I really enjoyed it, and I thought as soon as I finished it, I was like, I would play 2 and 3 if they redo them. I would totally do that. I don't want to whip out the old 360 version and play that right now. But if they made a proper remake of 2 with the same level of care that they made this, I would totally play that again.
At least 2. 2 was so good.
Yeah, 2's awesome.
2 was my favorite of them.
Of them.
And I would love to see them do 2.
I remember thinking 2 is pretty rad too. I don't know how far I got in that same problem. I think I got to a wall and hit it, but yeah, just the right amount of jump scares, the right amount of like cool Metroid like exploration, few surprises, things that happened I didn't expect or didn't know were coming. It's cool. That game's great. And should be played. And I love it because it's EA made a game. EA made a game that has none of the EA bullshit in it. It doesn't even have a launcher layer to have to worry about when you play it in Steam. It just runs.
Yeah.
They haven't done
what
that
a
in years.
surprise. It's the one that they've gotten the most kudos for recently.
Yeah, weird. Anyway, then a couple mentions. This is stuff I don't need to get into because we've talked about before. But I got on a bit of a kick, played a bunch of Satisfactory, Factorio, and Dyson Sphere Program. I'm still trying to decide which one is best scratching the itch I have.
Scott just wants to make something.
I do. I just want to make cool shit. And I'll tell you what, Dyson Sphere is probably leading the pack for just overall satisfaction. It's just such a satisfying early game. I'm now getting to the point where I need to smarten up about where we go next, and it's a little bit of a spider web. I'm not super organized about my what do you call it? My conveyor belt placement, or where my storage stuff is, or how well I've set up like logistics systems to be very efficient. I'm pretty shitty at that. But I do love it, and I'm enjoying it. I like this a lot. I like Factorio a ton. I like Satisfactory quite a bit, but I think I prefer, I don't know, I go back and forth. I prefer being kind of out and above it the way that these top-down games are. Like
I find visually it's more satisfying. Although Satisfactory has the multiplayer aspect, which is also great.
That's true. Is Dyson Sphere getting that, or was that a thing I had on my own head?
Not that I heard of. The next big thing for Dyson Sphere is enemies.
Oh, right, the combat
So there's going to be like enemy hordes, and you have to set up your plans to defend and stuff. But I'm sure that's all slidable. Like, big time recommend, set your mineral nodes to infinite when you play Dyson. It's going to say, well, it's kind of noobish, and your yield or something's going to be lower. There's nothing worse than when you run out of minerals on you do all this work, set up all these production chains, and then the mineral node runs out, and you're like, oh. I gotta find a new planet and do that all over. Maybe for an advanced playthrough, but if you're just like, I just want to play the game, make sure to turn that off.
I didn't know you could. I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah, right when you go to make your world with the seed,
there's
thing like a multiplier, like, is it 400%? Like, it's how much resource the nodes have. So you can just set it to infinite, and then you never have to worry about running out of resource nodes. And I don't care if it's not hardcore, because I put like hundreds of hours. Like when you play like a save file for like 50 hours, and then your home planet runs out of nodes, and you're like, so you tell me I gotta find a planet and start from scratch, and by the time I get all that up and running to do the more advanced stuff, that planet's going to run out too, and I'm going to be 100 hours in, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
You're making me want to start over with unlimited nodes now.
The way to go fast and more speed run is the blueprint system. You're probably going to ignore it, but the blueprint system, I've been using it to lay like really massive fields of solar panels. So it's just like you want to get a lot of energy, so it's just like you can just chunk down like hundreds of solar panels well, not hundreds, but like 16 at a time. Like just chunk, 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 chunk.
Yeah, I haven't
And
used
then you
that
can
at
s-
all. I don't know how that stuff works yet. Do I have
And
to?
you can blueprint entire production lines. So it's like, oh, I got to turn iron ore into iron ingots, and then I also have to turn iron ore into like the donut things,
Yeah.
and then make a copper donut with a piece of copper. So a lot of materials start with those basics. So by using blueprint, you just lay down the blueprint. I use it a lot for gas lines too.
Hmm.
So gas lines, when you're refining, turn liquid gas into hydrogen molecules and the lighter brown fuel
Yeah.
molecules.
For the donuts.
And like,
yeah.
in order to squeeze out the rate of production is really low, so in order to squeeze out as much value, you want to put down like 50 of those things. But you're putting in one input into two outputs, and then having to sort the conveyor belts in like this way that they don't get mixed up, right? And it just takes a lot of work. So if you blueprint it, you're just like chung, 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 chung.
That's cool.
And it saves you time. Like, and rather than trying to figure it out, you start to figure out your own little tricks.
Yeah.
And in theory, I think you could probably go online and download blueprints.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like that's the thing too. So at a certain point, maybe then I'll consider limited resources because I'm quick with blueprinting.
The one thing I did notice, though, after playing, I went back to back Factorio and Satisfactory. I didn't expect to see this, but they are virtually identical in terms of what you do. It's just the viewpoint that changes.
Yeah.
They are really the same game. Satisfactory and Factorio, they got the whole pollution aspect. You got creatures to fight if you just decide to turn them on. You've got the same sort of production line mechanics. It's all there. It's the same. It's just one is first person and the other is this high up camera. Whereas Dyson Sphere is just different. It's something, they got their own weird juice going with that one. It's a weird game. I like it though a lot. So right now that one's leading the pack, and I'm going to keep messing with those. But boy, Factorio's still the ultimate I'm bored on this Zoom call game. It's perfect. Runs on your Mac, runs on your PC. You can window it, have it up there, put a little bit of the thing going on. So Scott, what you're thinking about this new advertiser? Oh, I think that sounds great. Anyway, clicking over here to do this, it's perfect. And you just pause. Oh, it's great. All right. What else? Oh, and I'm still playing Immortals Phoenix Rising. I'm having a great time with this run. I had weird NVIDIA issues. So, actually, I have some advice for everybody. If you have these latest drivers, if you're having any weird glitches or problems in any games since you've updated the NVIDIA to the current drivers, I forgot the number, consider rolling back to the previous, and it will take care of it. In my case, and this was all over the forums on Steam and other places, that the game was having all kinds of problems with NVIDIA's new drivers, and nobody was sure what was going on, except if you rolled back, it went away. And sure enough, it did for me too. But I
just got a new driver update yesterday. Is it those drivers?
Okay, if you got it new yesterday, those are probably fixed what was wrong with the week's previous drivers.
Okay.
Because it was the week before that I had to roll back to. So if there's a new one, I just haven't put it in yet. And I can.
Or I just installed the wrong ones. I
Yeah.
don't know.
We are entering. I'm afraid to say this. I hate this because I thought we left it in the 90s and the early aughts, but back then video drivers were always very problematic. It's like, oh, a new driver on my GeForce 2 or my Voodoo card. Don't know if it's going to brick it or there was just, it was a lot more tenuous, and it felt like that got really like much better for a long time, and now it's back to introducing new problems with patches. So I don't know. It may just be a one-time off. I don't want to blow it up bigger than it is, but it bugged me. So I rolled back and it was fine. And I really liked that game a lot. So I played the shit out of it. That's it for me. John, let's go to John on the street with his Devil May Cry HD collection review.
It's not a review.
Oh.
These are the games that I played very briefly this week. Well, or at least just don't have a ton to say. So I am ridiculously excited about Final Fantasy 16. Like maybe an unhealthy level of excited. And in my inability to wait for it, I remembered that the person who did the combat systems for Devil May Cry 5, the most recent one, I think it's 5.
Mhm.
Is doing the combat systems for the new Final Fantasy 16. I thought, well, I should check that out. I'll get a leg up. I'll be an even better fighter. And then I went, 5th game in the series, though. How am I going to know the deep Devil May Cry lore if I don't start with the original Devil May Cry? So instead of Devil May Cry 5, the game that wasn't even the game I actually wanted to play, but the game I was going to play to scratch the itch,
Mm.
I decided to play the original Devil May Cry.
Oh my gosh.
Certainly not the one you're showing on
No,
the
this
screen.
is 5, which is renowned. Five's renowned for being like the best, and it was an amazing new direction for the series, right, or something. It's like well regarded.
Well, so they did DMC, which was the reboot, which,
Mhm.
by the way, I love.
Mm.
It is not popular with fans of the series because they abandoned all the lore and all that, but I loved DMC. It was great.
Mhm.
So 5 was the return to form. 5 is like somebody made The Last Jedi, and then instead of making Rise of Skywalker, somebody, was like, well, here's The Empire Strikes Back. And everybody's
You
like,
know what's
"Oh
great
my
though?
gosh, finally.
Here's what's great about DMC. If your video card breaks, you can say the words "I can't run DMC." Like the rap group. I can't run DMC.
Did you just have another child and you don't know it yet? Because that was...
Well, my daughter had one 5 months ago, and that puts me on a new level of like
Yeah.
bad jokes, Anyway,
Yeah.
continue. Oh, I got a boo in the chat. Oh man.
It was bad, Scott.
Tough crowd.
It was a long walk to a not great joke.
I don't know. Run DMC, my Adidas. They're great. Anyway, so sorry. Continue on. You love DMC. The rest of the those people, they don't like it. They're not fans.
Anyway, doesn't matter. I didn't play 5. I didn't play DMC. I played original ass Devil May Cry. It was on the PS2, and it's still, even in its HD collection remake, looks like it's from the PS2.
Oh wow.
It does not look good at all. And my goodness, have we come a long way with video games since Devil May Cry. Now, at the time, it was revolutionary.
Uh-huh.
But this was before we figured out how to make action games, I think. You have to like hold a button to like engage your enemies, and I don't know, it's dated and I don't know if I can stick with it. Like, it feels rough. It still looks cool. Dante's still a cool dude running around with his sword,
Yeah.
doing flips, shooting stuff. Like, there's still cool elements, but man, this game is, I'm feeling the age on it in a lot of ways with this one. And
Yeah.
I don't know if I think I might just look up what the story for Devil May Cry was.
Yeah, catch up on the
Well-
story and then play 5 though, because 5's supposed to be real
While
good.
I'm at it, I might just read up on the story on Devil May Cry 2, because I've heard that one's also not good. But
Hmm.
I might play Devil May Cry 3.
Oh, you might start with
Um,
3. All right, interesting.
Well, 3 is supposed to be the point where it actually got good.
Okay, so like, what is that? PS3? When is that?
No, I think that's still maybe PS2 even.
Oh wow, they put out 3.
Like
of them?
3 was, they learned a lot. Devil May Cry was stumbled into. It was supposed to be a Resident Evil. They kind of just went a different direction, a very different direction. 2 was a bit of a whoops
Yeah.
historically,
Yeah.
and 3 is like, oh, we figured it out. And 3 is pretty cool. From what I remember of playing it, because I have played all these before.
And these are on the
Um,
3D, the HD remastered thing?
Yeah,
HD collection?
the HD collection has 1, 2, and 3 all in it.
Okay. All right.
So I think I'm gonna check that out. I might go back and play a little bit of 4, because I do remember liking 4 an awful lot. But I will eventually get to 5. I'm
Okay.
gonna play it at some point.
I love that you're doing this as a way to just deal with your lack of Final Fantasy 16 access.
Yeah.
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 I think that's
Look
great.
at that. Look at how cool that
It
movie
looks
is
really
he's
cool.
He's doing cool stuff.
It's
man.
cool. Dante's cool, dude.
He's a cool guy doing cool stuff, and sometimes that's all you need in a video game is a cool guy doing cool stuff.
Yeah, I think I agree. He's
So
great.
yeah, I'll report more if I stick with Devil May Cry and how much of it I decide to play or not. Also been playing a ton of Fortnite. Worth mentioning simply because we are into a new chapter within the season, or season within the chapter. I don't remember how it works, but they have changed things up again. They've added a.
This is the land in
They've added
which-
a
That's you,
big.
sorry.
Oh, there's me.
Yeah.
It's me
That's
talking.
you talking.
Oh, what's going on there?
Yeah, that's
Scott's
two
pulling
Johns.
up the footage.
Yeah.
Well, in the footage, you'll see it. They've added a big cyberpunk city, in the middle of the game now. And
Oh yeah, that's
kind
what
of-
these. They had some internet ads for this, and I was wondering what the hell's going on. I thought it was maybe a second or a separate thing, but it's just in the world.
Yeah, so they just
Okay.
changed a chunk of the map. It's now got a very like Asian cyberpunk aesthetic to it. It's pretty cool. I mean, I like cyberpunk stuff. They added a katana. They got rid of a big old hammer, like they had the Warlords of Draenor or I'm sorry, Burning Crusade hammer in the game for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's out. Now you got a cool cyber katana, and you can ride a motorcycle that looks straight out of Akira. And so yeah, it's cool. Like most seasonal shakeups, like they add some new stuff, they get rid of stuff. I do like that around the city they added all these rails that you can grind on and kind of tool around the city riding on the rails, and the city looks pretty cool. Although it does, yeah, it reminds me of Night City, and it does freak me out though. Like I get very paranoid playing these types of games inside a big city, like the verticality.
Oh yeah, because there's
Freaks
people.
me out.
Yeah, because now the sniper gun's back in there too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we gotta deal
I
with
do
that.
love a sniper rifle. I've proven it. I made a video.
That
about
video
it.
was great, by the way. People should all check that
Um,
out. Although, how did you
so-
not get like a copyright strike on that for that song you used? How did that? work out?
So I uploaded it to YouTube, and YouTube was like, "Hey, there's copyrighted material in it, but it's cool because they let it be on YouTube." I was like, "Cool, thanks for letting me know, YouTube.
Wow,
I will make it public then."
because it was what's her name?
It was Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess the Houston family, heritage family, whatever, they all are happy taking your cash when your video goes
Yeah,
well.
just put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. My YouTube channel's so small, I can't monetize anything anyway. So
Sure.
they just let me put it up there. But yeah, otherwise the video was gonna be private. But
I will say
yeah,
this game is prettier every time I see it. This is all the new Engine 5.0 stuff, right? Like,
yeah,
it's good
Yeah.
looking, man.
it looks good. I mean, you can probably scrub to some place where I'm not just inside little buildings and maybe outside running around doing stuff.
Yeah,
like,
look at this.
It
It's
actually
lush.
looks legitimately pretty good when you're out and about.
Yeah.
Um,
I prior to that update, I thought it was getting pretty long in the tooth. Visually, it just kind of looked like a bad cartoon to me. But the upgrade is like, as I watched part of your stream, and I was like, "Holy frick! Is this really just Fortnite?" Did John install some mods? Like, it just feels like such a better visual experience than it used to be.
Yeah, it looks great. And then a lot of people just turn all that off because it's basically cheating if you turn off your graphics, because it makes the game look so terrible in an effort to keep it compatible with everything
Yeah.
that people running around in the bushes and stuff just stick out like sore thumbs. And I found that out because I like watched a couple of YouTube videos. And I was like, why does the game look so horrible in all these people's games? And then I saw someone shooting at someone. I was like, oh, because it's almost cheating, because whereas I'm like looking at this beautiful foliage and stuff and all the skins blend into it,
Mhm.
they just see like brown and then a 3D model running around on the color brown, and that's all they need to know to shoot at it. Like,
Yeah.
no
I-
wonder everyone feels better at this game than me.
That's too bad, because I wouldn't enjoy it if I had to turn all that off. I'm not
Yeah,
that
I'm the same
competitive.
way. That's why I keep it on.
Yeah.
Like I want it to look good.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Glad you're still
Yeah,
enjoying
it
that.
sucks that low graphics is cheating in these sports.
I know,
Like,
right?
It's the advantage you need to have if you're being competitive, I guess.
Right. I guess you could do that with any of these things. They all have sliders, so I guess if you're a professional, Fortnite or not Fortnite, like Overwatch player, you can turn all that shit down. I don't know what advantages it gives. Probably more frame rate.
Even
but-
even in Heroes of the Storm, that was the case. I know I've watched Kier's stream, and I'm sure he's got a fine enough computer to run it at high graphics, but it's nope, everything's set to minimum.
Huh.
Yeah.
So he can see
Gotta
clear.
get as many frames as possible, and clarity of seeing people goes up as well.
I
Those
bet.
graphics just obscure. They're always in the way.
So then you played a game that I think Bo famously bounced off of. Isn't this that game? Well, anyway, tell me about. I lost it already. Where the hell is it? Oh, Pathfinder.
So yeah, a listener, Sen,
Mm-hmm.
contacted me. I think they didn't say it, but I think it's because last week I complained about the fact that nobody gifts me anything. Because I can't think of any reason. Like, they didn't contact me and go, "Hey, I've got a code for Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous that I want to give you." They contacted me and said, "What kind of games do you like?" And I said, "I don't know. Like, I like a lot of games, RPGs, I guess." And then the ne's thing I knew, I had Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous. So, thank you, regardless. Thank you. It's very nice, but I didn't know anything about this. This wasn't really on my radar as a game that I wanted, but like I said, if people gift me something, I'm gonna make an earnest effort to play it. And I did, and I gotta say, this game's pretty cool. Like, I don't know the Pathfinder rules, so I can't really make a statement as to how accurate it is in that regard. But as far as like creating a character, it felt just like building a character through like D&D Beyond or something like that. As far as the like decisions that I was making in the game, it felt very, dice rolly, and like there were plenty of options to feel like I could role play my character a little bit. The thing that I think was the most impressive about this game, though, is that by default it presents itself very much in the vein of like those old Baldur's Gate games.
Yeah.
But the first time I got into combat, it was like, hey, heads up, here's how combat works. When it initiates, it pauses, and then you can make decisions, and then, typical Baldur's Gate stuff.
Right.
And then I read a cool little detail. They said, or you can press T and switch to turn-based combat.
Yeah.
And I went, well, let's try it. And I hit T, and oh my gosh, it's not just that it goes to turn-based and they've somehow clunked it together. Like, it full on changes. You get to see a turn order. Like, the UI adjusts a little bit to work with it. I was really impressed by it. Like, I thought that was one of the coolest things, that not only does it give you both options, and I personally prefer the turn-based, but like that it's so fully realized that it's not just, it didn't feel like it was hammered together because someone asked for it.
Like Pillars of Eternity 2 did this, but it was kind of hammered in.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what you're saying, is this is a more elegant approach. I agree. I actually own this game, and I thought the being able to switch between the two depending on kind of my mood was really nice, and it didn't feel half-assed. Both modes work like they should.
Yeah, and that it's a toggle, because sometimes when you're doing like exploration, it's like, oh, I gotta fight lobsters or whatever. Like, who cares? Like, I'll just go through and everybody just run and hit stuff, and if I need to heal on the back of it, I'll heal on the back of it.
Yeah.
But if I'm fighting like a big boss, maybe I want to sit there and like take some time and actually think about what I'm doing and be tactical. And I really liked that it gave that option. So I'm playing a lot of games right now, and a lot of games are coming out, so I'm not sure how much of this I'm going to stick with for the moment, but this might be something I definitely come back to. It seemed very, very cool and very, very well
Bo,
done.
is this the one you bounced off of, or am I thinking something else?
Yeah. Oh God. It was the writing. I mean, the game itself seemed like combat would be good and stuff, but there was just so much talk and talk and talk and talk, and not even like good talk. It's like you run into an NPC, and it's like, "Hello, I'm Elizabeth. I'm with the Paladins of the Short Shorts." And
Not them
I
again.
grew up on
no.
the mean streets of Medievalville, but when I was a kid, I bounced stones off the lake.
Yeah.
But I have this friend Trisha, and she also joined the Paladin of the Short Shorts. And it would just go on and on and on and on and on and on. And it was expository, like show don't. It's like they missed the show don't tell part, and they're just like, we're just going to tell you the entire backstory as soon as you meet an NPC. By the way, the city's on fire. And I got so aggravated. The voice acting was also was okay, and I just couldn't take it anymore. And it wasn't just one NPC. Every NPC is like this. And I got mad.
Yeah.
And then returned it.
Is it? I mean, is it possible that the writing is not bad? It's just not. You weren't in the mood. You know what I mean?
I mean, it was boring. I played for like a couple hours, and all I was doing was hearing people's backstory. Like I have a life, man. I want to get to some combat and exploration, baby. Like I just like there's a such thing as too much, and it was so much. I don't know if you had this experience, John, but
No, I mean, I'm not super far, so I can't say that it was getting on my nerves yet, but you're not wrong. Like, I feel like, I don't know where it's going, but the first couple of like potential party member NPCs definitely kind of annoyed me. Like, it was like we understand the situation, and I did find myself leaning towards, again, I wasn't annoyed out of it, but like they do the thing where they give you like 6 things of dialogue, and you can tell that they'll let you do the first 5, and that 6 is like, come on, let's just go.
Yeah.
And normally in like a Mass Effect, I explore the whole tree. Like,
Right.
let's hear as much as I can possibly hear. On this game, it's like we're in a cave. What do you have that you're gonna tell? Like, we need to get out of the cave.
Yeah.
Like, how did I get here? Who are you? Why did this happen to us? Wow, did you see that dragon? Like, all the dialogue options were very much like, I don't need any of this. Let's just go.
You kind of mainline it. Yeah. My experience with the game thus, as much as I played is there's always an option in the text tree that is basically, all right, move on. Or, here's the quick answer. Let's move to the next stage. So I think some of that stuff you can get around, but I don't know.
It's a problem in games like Diablo 2 where it's like you want to talk to the NPCs in town, and then it's like a 5-minute blah blah blah. Like
my name's Akara, mother of the sightless eye. I'm glad you came to the camp. Let me tell you about Charcy. She's new here. Like, it's just
yeah. Sometimes it's like just too much, And I think good dialogue is like either it's really compelling, and I came off of playing Disco Elysium. I hung on every word in that game. You know what I mean? Because it mattered.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was rewarded for paying attention because it would pay off later having paid attention.
Right.
This game is not going to pay you off for paying attention to everyone's lore. And Diablo is a bit like that. Like, and again, spoiled by Divinity as well. You never get more than like a sentence or two when you click a dialogue option, right? And
right.
It was some rare exceptions if like a poem's being read or something. But man, this game was like, do you like walls of text?
You know what, though? It makes me... I kind of tempted to get back into it because I did like it mechanically.
Yes, mechanically it seemed good. And like I've seen it on sale, and I've often contemplated rediving.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I think I looked at it and I was like, what if it's a really good game and I just didn't make it through the first bit because I lacked patience?
Yeah.
But I wanted to send a message to someone because I thought it mattered. It probably doesn't. Nobody gives a shit.
They've changed their ways. They patched all the things Bo had a problem with. So well done. Real quick here. You also played the Resident Evil 4 remake demo. I didn't know there was a demo.
There is. It's called the Chainsaw Demo.
That's what it's.
It is extraordinarily short. It is basically an abbreviated version of, if you played the original Resident Evil 4, of Leon's first getting into town all the way up to the moment that he goes into the village square and encounters the chainsaw guy. It is basically that chunk of the game, and the demo is pretty good. It has me excited for the game, especially as I learned more about it. So first of all, they've hidden a ton of little secrets in this demo. For as short as it is, once I had finished it and was like, okay, I guess that's it. I then proceeded to see a ton of write-ups about like, here's how to find this hidden gun in it. Here's how to unlock this. Here's how to do a hard mode for it. So they're clearly playing with a lot of stuff there. The game, much like Resident Evil 4, plays a lot like these previous remakes, but with a little bit more of an action feel. They send a ton of villagers at you. And probably the most intimidating thing is I thought, well, surely I'll have a ton more ammo to fight them than I have in these other remakes where they've been real stingy with the ammo. Nope. They're like, here's 5 bullets. Here's 5 bullets and 30 villagers. Go to town, Leon.
Yeah.
And it creates this like very hectic kind of play style where you are, shooting someone in the leg to get him to bend over so that you can kick him in the face or parrying with the knife. I do have one major complaint. And I gotta
Is
get
it
this out
knife
of the way.
related? It sounds like knife related.
It is knife related.
Oh shit. Tell
Scott,
us.
how do you feel about breakable weapons?
Oh, you know how I feel about. Well, okay. If a game gives me the opportunity to fix them through Gold Sync or whatever equivalent you have in your game, I'm down. It's fine. But it sounds like that's not what you get here.
I don't know how it's going to work in the main game, and I will say that in this demo, my knife did not break. But I didn't miss that there was a durability meter that was going down every time I used it for something. I don't like this. The original Resident Evil 4, the knife was not as powerful as this knife. Like, you can do a lot with this knife. You can do Assassin's Creed style kills on the villagers if you successfully sneak up on them. You can parry attacks when they come at you and swing at you. You can block it with the knife. You can do assassinations on them after you kick them on the ground. You can then run up and stab them with the knife for an immediate execute.
Huh.
It has power. More power than the other one where you just slashed a bunch of times. But the other knife was infinite, and this one does seem limited, and that does bum me out a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not thrilled about that one aspect. Everything else seems pretty cool. I played this game and I looked like a big doof, but I've seen some people play this demo and look like John Wick. So it definitely seems like there's a big variety of, depending on your comfort with the game, what you'll be able to do and how much of an action star Leon's going to be, which makes sense because he's supposed to have been like specially trained. Like he's not rookie cop anymore. He's now like, he works for the government special forces agent Leon. He should be kicking people.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be cool. It gave me a bit more excitement for the game. It seemed to hit all the marks. Leon's still a doofus in it, which is good. The demo ends with him going, "Where's everybody going? Bingo." Like a real stupid line. They could have redone it. They left it in there. I appreciate it. I appreciate you leaving your dumbass lines from the original game in there.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. It's a very short demo. You can get it. You can try it yourself. But I'm pretty excited for this game.
Like
I think it's going to be all right.
6 days now or something before this is out, I believe. I think that's
Yeah,
right.
pretty soon.
Pretty quick.
soon.
More on that as we get it. You also played Octopath Traveler, not the new one, the first one.
The first one.
Yeah.
Let me be clear. I know people this day and age want to abbreviate everything, but turns out when I say Octopath Traveler and I don't say 2, I mean the first Octopath Traveler, crazy enough.
Weird.
So yeah, basically that is what happened though. Octopath Traveler 2 came out. Everybody started raving about it and talking about it, talking about how much of a upgrade it was in every single way. And I said, do you know what comes out this month? And they made me pre-order Diablo 4 this month too.
Yeah.
I can't afford Octopath Traveler 2 right now. So, look, Octopath Traveler 1 is in my library and I haven't played it. So I decided to play it.
Did you buy it back then and just never got around to it or something?
I must have bought it on a sale at some point. There was a point where I was playing all the Final Fantasies. It was clear that like playing these style of RPGs was going to become a thing for a while. And I think I bought a few on sale where I was like, oh, that's something I could play. That's something I could play.
Sure.
And I think this might have been one of them. So I had it.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because people talk about this game like it beat up their mother. Every time I hear someone talk about Octopath Traveler, it's not like they don't talk about it like it's the worst game, but I've heard so many people go, yeah, Octopath Traveler, that's cool. 2 improves everything.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, great. Yeah, it's a fine game, but let me tell you, 2 really solves a lot of the problems. So I kind of went in with this like expectation of like actually a bad game. So I went in with real low expectations. and I am extremely pleasantly surprised with what is here. This game is great. I love this game.
Wow.
This might be one of my like best surprises in a long time, and maybe it's just because I heard all that criticism, like it floated to the surface, and that was all I knew was like, okay, the stories don't connect well enough for some people, and this takes a long time to get going. All those complaints. I was like, all right, I guess that's what it is. And I started playing it, and my goodness, I love this game. It's one of my favorite games I've played this year. It is, you basically pick from 8 characters on who's going to be your main character to start with. They each have their own story, their own reason for being. It is true, they aren't super interconnected, at least near as I can tell so far. But that's fine. Like, in most RPGs, that's kind of the case. Everybody sort of comes with their own baggage.
That's where the name came from, right? Octopath means 8 stories. That's their paths. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So eight stories, 8 paths. It's also the first letter of all the characters' names spells Octopath.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I started as Primrose, the
Yeah.
P in Octopath, I guess. And I do understand where the criticism comes from to a degree. Because there are elements that I get. Like, I only just now, and I'm like 10 hours into the game, and I only just now unlocked the last character. In fact, I think I'm in the middle of their story. So it's not a fast game, but I'm not trying to race through it. Like, it's a RPG. Like, I like chilling and just playing it. I like the way the combat works. The combat system's actually really, really neat.
Yeah, I like it.
And even though battles take a while, I think that the strategic elements of it are fun enough to where I still enjoy it. So I think everything about this game, from the visuals to the stories, not all the stories are created equal. Like, I started as the dancer, which was an extraordinarily like dark story about like people being abused and human trafficking and abuse and all this stuff. I was like, Jesus, what? And that's what the chat told me to do. I was like, chat, who should I start with? That's what they picked. And then, there's some lighter fare where it's like, I'm playing as a merchant right now that is going to get some stuff stolen by pirates, and she's upset about it. Like, it's not always the same thing. But I'm enjoying all the stories. I think the characters are really good, really well performed, and it feels like in one world, I've played the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters, and that's kind of a perfect thing for what it is, and this feels like a slightly different path adjacent to it, but at kind of the same place technologically. And it's scratching a similar itch in a different way, and it is a charming game. I absolutely am having a blast with it.
Well, that probably means you're going to love 2 when you get around to it.
Apparently, because apparently it fixes all the problems. Although maybe I'm going to have the opposite issue, because all I heard was people complaining about the first one, and all I'm hearing is praise about the second one. So
yeah, maybe it goes reverse for you or something.
I don't know, but
yeah.
I think this game is a real like gem, and if you don't want to buy the $50 or $60, I can't remember how much it is,
60
sequel that just came out, maybe look to this, because you can get it for cheap, and I actually think it's really something special. I think it's awesome.
I think the art style is so cool that you're making me want to play it again. So nice job. Okay. Oh, and where I played it before I bounced was on Game Pass, and I assumed it was still there, but it's not. I think
it's
Square,
not on Game Pass anymore.
Square's Game Pass. They dip their feet in for like a hot second and then yank it out. That's their deal over there.
Yeah.
Everybody, there are plenty of games.
I'd recommend checking them out. My understanding is they are not connected. There is no need, even though I did it. There's no need to start with one. They seem to be their own independent things. So you can start with either. If you're looking at buying it and you want what is apparently a better experience, maybe start with 2. But I don't know. Like starting with 1 seems great to me because I don't have to go backwards in features. It's only going to get better, and there's a whole other game to play when I beat this one.
Yeah.
So I'm actually really excited that I started with 1 because it's kind of like discovering a series after it's already got a couple games out that I really love.
That's awesome. This also sounds like a John thing to do. You're not going to skip ahead. You're going to get the full meal
I
deal.
started playing Devil May Cry because I'm
Yeah,
weird.
You did
I'm
get
weird and I can't get over it.
That is a weird thing, but I respect it. I also respect giant city builders that are hard and where people die and you have to bury their bodies and stuff. So good thing Bo played more Farthest Frontier. Bo, how's that going for you?
Yeah, I played a bit this week. It's fun. Hours go by.
Anything new? Like I have it as well. Did they add anything big or new? That
I think there was an update, but it was not super noticeable stuff. So nothing jumped out at me as fairly new, but it's relaxing. Got a great soundtrack. The UI, it really needs to shrink. It takes up so much of the room. That would be my one criticism, I think.
Oh, really? Maybe they'll give you some percentage slider.
Yeah, like it's nice. The UI looks nice, but it's just hard to keep it open and see things. I think I don't know. They should do something about it. I'm not sure what exactly. But see, like, even what you're showing is like firewood splitter. I don't need... But it really doesn't need to take that much space. And some things, like in Banished, I would like to keep different projects open and monitor them. And it's hard when the windows are one at a time open and then take up the whole screen. But apart from that, it's still really fun. I lose hours to this.
I need to get back in. I always look at it. It reminds me of War Tales when I just look at it. And I don't know why.
Yeah, it's definitely got that vibe for sure. I think they really, overall nailed it. It's a lot of fun. I don't mind the attacking raiders. It just gives another vector. It's nothing too challenging.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
I like it.
Very
cool.
nice.
I played it for a bit. Not much to say about it.
How's so programming mostly this week? How'd that go?
Yeah, I mean, mostly what I was doing when I had free time was just like I get to the point where I'm like, should I sit down and play a game? And it's like, nah, I'd rather continue my lessons. So it's just kind of more getting into it.
That's good.
I don't have much to talk about just in terms of what I was learning. I'm currently making a racing game, and it's just showing me how to do pickups at this point and how to change animations while doing the pickups and stuff.
Pickups like Mario Kart style, like grabbing a power up type thing?
Like I can traverse through walls that previously were collision detected, so get the pickup, change the properties. Like it's the thing about like programming is like you're not really learning programming. Programming is kind of easy, like once you know it. It's the techniques.
Right.
It's like what you're actually writing, not the actual programming language. Like I don't want to say it's easy because people hate when I get dismissive, but like all programming languages are all kind of the same. They have operators, functions, structures, whatever. But the actual thing is, how do I make this thing? Right? How do I make? If I want something that displays a high score, how do I make it? And it's like people have already discovered that country. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, but you need someone to teach you the technique. So like a lot of it is just like, how do you do a pickup and then trigger it to change your appearance of your player?
Yeah.
Like, Mario picks up the fire flower. Now he's changed colors and then now he has an ability or does something different. So it's about like extending classes. Like you make a default pickup class and then the different types of pickups are extended. So I've been learning that. And that's fun. I've also started to dip my toe into shaders because I really hate the way the lake looks in Super Lake Run, but I don't know how to make it look like water yet.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to show on that front. But while I was doing that, I did swing by and make a few updates. So I'm not going to get you to play it locally because I don't think it's worth playing locally, but I will show what I did implement in the game. People still thought it was cool, so
nice.
We'll do that now.
Have you been streaming any of your programming stuff?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I don't stream. I haven't been streaming nearly as much, partly because IRL pretty busy too. But I have been streaming my work on Super Lake Run or just my lesson. I'm doing lessons. That's pretty much all it is now.
Sure.
Not.
That's great though. People love that kind of thing. I like it.
They do. And it's not. Wait, is that what I want there? Yeah.
There's your code.
Why was it translucent? I don't understand that.
I don't know. It's
I don't
cool,
either.
though.
That's a new feature of Bo that he's
Oh,
translucent.
there, display captures here. All right, so like,
They're like Finnish people. Anyway, go
right,
ahead.
and it's kind of fun. It's fun to break the code because my code is like poo meter.max value equals poo mp max.
That's amazing.
Like it's all poo in there, and poo cooldown, poo shot cooldown, poo shot instance. All my variables have fun names. Anyways, I
good.
added an XP bar, so if you check out, wait, is this
What?
working?
You got an XP bar.
You
Okay.
check out the bottom down there. There's an XP bar.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Look
So
at
now
that.
when I get kills, it fills the XP bar.
Oh, nice.
And
Does
see,
it-
it says bow level 1.
Is it level? Do you have it set up so that if you get level 2,
Yeah,
it's a
watch.
slower thing? Do you ding?
Oh yeah, look
You
at
see,
that.
yeah, you see the
Oh.
stars. You can't hear the sound, but there is a little sound that plays. Yeah, and as you can see now, it takes 200 experience points
That's great, dude.
to
That's
level
progress. That's awesome.
up. So hang on, watch my character. You'll see little shader stars appear. It's not great, but
Yeah.
it's happening.
Yeah. No, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
So,
I love it. And you want to make this, I think the water is actually kind of okay, but you want to make it look more like,
well, but it's like I'm sitting on the water and it clearly looks drawn, but I would like to put. I don't want to cover it up too much because most of the gameplay happens in that area. Oh, I did add another thing. This is what I got stuck 4 hours on. When I mouse over the fish,
Yeah.
look what happens.
oh, yeah, they get all highlighty.
They're highlighted like you would in Diablo. So that's a shader. So as I was learning shaders, like doing the lessons, like, oh, here's how you highlight something in 3D space and 2D space. And it's a shader that you function. But then I couldn't get it to work. I could get it to work in the example fish, like just the fish node.
Yeah.
But then when I was running the game, I couldn't get the game to highlight the shader
Yeah.
or highlight the fish with the shader. And I spent Tuesday night, I spent 4 hours just trying to figure out what it was. And as it turns out, there's a node type called color rect, I think, where you're just drawing a color in a rectangle. It's a node that's simply used. And apparently it doesn't work well with shaders. And it was like buried somewhere.
okay.
And I had to figure out, I had to like disable every single node one at a time to figure out, under what circumstances could I get it to work? Because alone I could get it to work, and in the full game I could not. And that really just annoyed the shit out of me. However, I learned something from it, so
Yeah, that's the
how these
point.
things go.
Yeah,
that's
that's the point.
There's these lessons you take. That's what I mean. Sometimes it's like not so much about the coding as it is like just understanding and learning the techniques. Because code is code. It's kind of straightforward.
Sure.
Write instruction, do instruction. But then if it doesn't make any sense how anything's working, that's when it's kind of a problem. So,
Sure.
Anyway,
No, it's cool though, because there's something satisfying about a 4-hour thing where you got to figure out what's going on and then you find it. I don't know. There's something about that.
yeah. I mean, there's definitely a sigh of relief, but I was also frustrated because that's why I worked all day, and then my evening was figuring out that bug for the most part, and then it's time for bed, and I was like, meh.
Nice. Well, that's a good update.
But,
I wanted to
yeah.
share something with you because you always say Mario instead of Mario.
mhm.
And I found somebody else who says it that way. But also, this is an interesting story. Leguizamo, the actor, what's his first name?
John.
John. I'm looking right at you when I ask what's his name. I'm such an idiot.
John, what's his name?
Yeah, what's that guy? Something Leguizamo, John? Anyway, he was on the late night with whoever the guy is now. I forgot his name. He used to write for SNL. Friendly Jim Bob Joe. I don't know his name. Anyway, the new late night guy on
Nailed it.
NBC. Say new, but it's been a couple years. Anyway,
Seth
Seth Meyer. Jeez, Seth Meyer. That's who it is. Anyway, he was on there, and this is what he said. I saved this for you guys. Here you go.
But you turned down a role in the film Philadelphia
Yes.
to do Super Mario Brothers.
I was supposed to be Tom Hanks' lover,
Uh-huh.
but I didn't think he was good looking enough for me.
Okay.
I wanted like Kevin Costner or Denzel Washington. And so I turned it down for Super Mario Brothers. And then, of course, they all won Oscars. And I won the John, How Could You Be So Stupid award for my wife.
Yeah.
All right, so he gave up his role. He turned down a role in the Oscar-riddled film Philadelphia, early 90s, so he could be Luigi in the Super Mario Brothers movie. That alone is something, but then he also called it Mario.
Mario.
Aha.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So John Leguizamo himself did it. I just thought that was a stupid thing.
Well, I appreciate you coming to my defense because some people really disagree.
I
with
like
Mario.
when he pronounces it Mario.
Yeah, I kind of
Yeah.
do too. It's cathartic, Bo. To just
It's
hear it.
quaint.
Yeah, it's quaint. I like it. But it's also very Canadian, and I appreciate having that perspective on the show. Speaking of the show, we're going to take a break right here. And when we come back, we'll have a Dear Martha, some additional news, some of your feedback, and more. So come right back, won't you? Okay.
I'll be back.
I'll be back as well. Chat room, we're going to go pee and do things like that. And you guys should do the same. While we do that, I'll put up a little bit of music. I'll put up a timer, maybe 5 minutes, and we'll be back shortly. Okay? Okay. Let's put this on. This is a fun one. Okay. There we go. I see Bo's back.
Greetings. I see you, sir.
I inhaled a Whopper.
Oh shit. Actually, I could go for one right now.
Sometimes they're good. Sometimes it's just what you want.
Yeah, I had a Big Mac today.
Oh yeah? How'd that
so
make you
I know
feel?
the feeling. I felt like a shameful creature. You know, you have it and it's delicious, but you're like, I could have chose differently,
That's true.
but didn't.
My wife just showed up with it. And so I horked it down pretty hard, chat. That went down quick.
You mean this? You just started it and finished it in the time I was gone?
Yep.
Oh my god.
I know. Doesn't seem right, does it? Seems bad.
I'm praying you don't get any heartburn.
No, I won't get heartburn, but in the show I might go, get one of my like hiccupy things. I may not be able to control that.
Whopper hiccup.
Whopper, hick whoppers.
A second helping of flavor.
A little bit of Coke Zero, a little bit of Whopper. Well,
So how
there's
about that Evil Dead Rise? Apparently it beats you off.
Yeah, I saw that was the weirdest
I
thing.
saw it.
That's got to be like a typo, right? They screwed that up.
No, I'm sure. I think he did it on purpose.
It's so weird.
I think he's just that hyped about the movie.
I think it looks great. I'm in the mood for horror movies. I'm all in on if that's
Yeah, I
good.
should watch that original one and then this one if it's that good.
Yeah.
Damn.
I like the 2013 remake. That
Yeah, you
Well,
said it was pretty good.
yeah.
I skipped it. I should maybe check it out.
It's all right.
On the list.
it's easy to get. Nothing beats the original. But I actually think this one beats the original. It may not beat 2 or Army of Darkness, but it's a better version of what the original was trying to be.
Mhm.
And this one sounds like, from what I've heard, it's like a combination of 2, which kind of in itself was a remake of 1 for Sam Raimi when he finally had money.
Yeah.
But it's like a combination of 2 and the remake. So, modern and bloody and gory, but kind of funny. So we'll see. I want to see it. Oh, hi, John.
Hi, hello.
Hi, you're back. We're all back.
Yeah, I didn't realize I was gone that long.
You weren't even that long. I think we were just early getting back. So,
No,
not you.
I was opening Amazon packages.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. Did
Yeah.
you get anything you want to share with the class?
It's nothing good. So my wife is out of town. The kids are enjoying spring break. She took them to visit her mom, and I'm getting a week off. But that means I'm doing a bunch of projects around the house. And one of the projects is the baby proofing for the baby's room. The little thing we stuck on the door to prevent him from being able to open the door.
Yeah.
I walked into it the other day and tore the paint off the door.
Oh.
So we need to put it back, but I need to scrape the excess paint off before we put another one back on. And so I bought a paint scraper.
Oh, look at you. You're like a handy man now.
Yeah.
Do you feel handy?
No.
No? Okay.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just hoping to not ruin a door.
It's like real life chore. So
Yeah.
it's chore.
Yeah, John's doing I'm over here renovating fake hotels. John's got the real job.
Yeah.
But you'll probably have less glitches than I did, and there is nobody.
That's gonna be an awesome AI though, renovation AI.
Oh
It's
yeah,
gonna be
dude.
so good.
Now you're talking. Now
Put
I'm
that in
now
a
I'm all
robot
for it.
and- yeah.
Yep, smarter than me. Well, we're back, everybody. We're gonna dive right into a Dear Martha here, which I don't know may or may not
My dearest Martha.
reference a bunch of work you got to do at the house. I don't know, but John put it together as always. It's always awesome. We're gonna play it now. John, anything special before I hit play?
Nope, just enjoy, I guess.
Here we go.
My dearest Martha, last letter we took a look at the ads of Game Now, issue 7 from May of 2002. This letter, we put all those ads behind us and look at the meat of the magazine, which naturally starts on page 10 after a shitload of ads. We start with an article about the Spider-Man game based on the first Sam Raimi movie. It talks about the extra villains that will show up in the game by saying Spidey's only real enemy in the movie is Green Goblin. But ultimately, he just isn't potent enough to sustain an entire video game by himself. Wow. If only Crystal Dynamics had read this tidbit from 2002 before making 2020's Marvel's Avengers game, maybe they could have figured out the benefits of enemy variety, and we'd still be playing it today. Now, last letter, we visited the terrible "someone has to play the chick" ad for Gauntlet that showed just how dated some of the views of gaming magazines were in the early 2000s. You might have thought that maybe this was exclusive to ads, and I'm sorry to say, it isn't. This magazine clearly thinks its readership is 100% straight males, and it's not afraid to show it. Promoting superhero busts, it still warns that owning one is a talisman to ward off the companionship of attractive females. Or showing a butt shot from King of Fighters EX New Blood, pointing an arrow to it saying, "Here's an attack you might find a bit cheeky."
Yeah.
Or starting their review for WTA Tour Tennis with, "Finally, a Game Boy Advance sports title for girls to cheer about." Or commenting on Black Cats from Pirates, The Legend of Black Cat, commenting on her polygons. Okay, I think the point is made. I could go on, and honestly, none of these are the worst things ever. But I think the best example is in the letters section, where they are faced with literal evidence that their readers might not all be horny dudes when they pulled this from their message board. Regarding how many gamers out there are girls, well, I'm not exactly a girl. I'm a 54-year-old woman and a mother of 3. I love video games and have since the Atari first came out. What did they do with this insight? They responded, "Wow, maybe we should reconsider Phil's idea of making a magazine called Gray Gamer."
Jeez.
Yeah, they're reading your magazine. Like, well,
Not cool.
It just goes back to what I said in the last letter. This was a crazy fun time for video games. We were out of the polygonal hell that was early PlayStation and N64 stuff. There were 3 big console contenders about to go in wildly different directions with their next gens. Dragon Ball Z was literally everywhere, and the story hadn't been retold 187,000 times in just as many games yet. But we also hadn't grown out of that awkward nerd in mom's basement cliche that made us a little self-conscious of our hobby, or grossly unaware that almost every type of person out there was actually into games. It was that time where we accidentally were gatekeeping video games, which I guess is a slight step up from doing it intentionally. So that's it for Game Now, a magazine I hadn't heard of, but checked out because I got lazy reading and thought I was picking up GamePro instead. What a time. Yours always, S. Beckett, 2002.
Wow. Never thought of that. The logo on this is very GamePro. Like, I would see that.
They want you to make a mistake, I think.
Yeah. But you see that and you just go, "Oh, GamePro, I'll grab it. Don't even think about it. Get home, realize it's the most sexist, ageist magazine ever made." Nicely done, as always. Okay, well done. Now this. These are some stories we didn't talk about yet, and it's now time to do that. The Last of Us TV show wrapped. It had its finale. I love where it was set in the final episode. I know that was also true in the game. But anyway, turns out that series is excellent. Well done.
They did it.
Yep, it was great. Bo, in the end, you liked it, right? You were into it.
I did like it. It was a Walking Dead speed run. We're not going to have to watch 10 seasons. I'm aware there's a second season, and that's it. It's a compressed story. I can get behind it. Pedro Pascal's awesome. And what's her name?
Bella
Bear
Ramsey?
Island girl.
Bella Ramsey? Is that what you're talking about?
Bella Ramsey.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find
Although I
Game of
like
Thrones
that
name.
Bo calls her Bear Island Girl. That's a great name.
Bear Island. Oh, from Game of Thrones. Gotcha.
She's the Mormon from Bear Island. I just can't remember her first name in that.
Yeah, I don't remember. Either.
Deanna Troy.
Yeah, Deanna Troy was that. That was the name.
Bear Island. No, Mormont. What's her first name?
Gladys Mormont. I don't
Gladys Mormont.
I don't
of
know her
Bear
name.
Island.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, she's great. I mean, the stories in it were interesting. Really, really not about the zombies.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. We got enough of that. The
Really,
zombies
really not about zombie. It's like, but it went through a bit of effort to explain is these aren't normal zombies. They're fungus zombies. And then it's like, anyway.
Fun zombies.
Although I did think it was hilarious because it did turn a little video game at the end where he's like, he's been stabbed. I just wonder if it played out this way in the game because it is a video game, but
Oh, the
this
second
is
to
a
last
pretty
episode.
realistic
Yeah.
kind of, people don't get up and shoot 500 people and level up in this TV show. It's kind of like people, and it gives you that vibe. So all of us, the Fireflies, just kind of like leave them. They're like, just don't go in that room. Like walk them out. Like they didn't lock them up somewhere. Like they know what this guy is dangerous. I don't know. And then he just kills everyone. Sorry, spoilers. He just kind of kills a whole bunch of people, and I'm like, I was like,
See,
really
I liked that because to me it finally paid off with a comment in the very, I think, first episode that I felt went kind of unheeded. Because in the first episode, when we first meet Tess and she's talking to King Robert, he's like, don't tell Joel. I don't want Joel coming after me. Like, he's genuinely afraid that Joel is going to come after him and his people. Yeah. And it's like, he paints Joel as this uber badass. And you're like, oh, what's Joel going to do? And it turns out kind of get his ass kicked for an entire season.
Yeah.
As is what's going to happen. I know that's part of his arc. Like, he can't do the things he used to do is what he says. And, he's dealing with not being in his prime anymore. So to me, the like, is gonna murk everybody at the end was finally the payoff of this promise of like, no, he's a badass that they set up at the beginning that you never really get to fully see.
Yeah, and it sets up the choice is a big deal. It's super controversial. It also sets up controversial things for the next season. Like, I think it's great. I don't know.
Like the rest of it was fine. It was the Firefly defense strategy that I was like, the Fireflies are also built up as a smart movement, and I'm like, really, you guys got owned that hard by one guy? Yeah. It wasn't him being like emotional or lying or or any of that stuff, or shooting the doctor. He's a monster. He's a product of the environment. That all jives. It's just the Fireflies are like, yo, chill. Like,
be cool.
Yeah, be cool. Just go outside. We'll just escort you outside.
I don't think. Yeah, they did seem to kind of lose their.
Like in Walking Dead, they'd be strapped to a bed, like chained up, and
I don't know. They were pretty. They were pretty
chill.
Lame throughout the entire thing. I mean, the first time we meet the Fireflies, almost all of them are dead. Marlene's been shot. You got one missing an ear. And then even Marlene, when she's talking to him at the end there, she's like, yeah, they had 5 people dedicated to protecting me. I still almost didn't make it here. So I don't know. I think the Fireflies get their ass kicked a lot.
Yeah, I guess
they're the Worf of The Last of Us. There's a lot of damage being thrown their way, but they keep
like
going.
some homeless guy managed to get the drop on him and stab him, but 5 or 10 fully armed dudes didn't hit him once. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, but the stakes were so high, you had to go. You had to save people and all that.
I know it's part of the fantasy. I know it's still good. I'm just saying I was a little bit like, okay, this is our power fantasy here.
Well, I liked it
because
it was
righteous, and then we'll kill everyone and not get clipped ourselves. Like, okay,
I liked it all because it was set in Salt Lake City, and they nailed it. Like that stuff, those outdoor shots and stuff, freaking nailed it. They didn't fake any of that. I mean, they fake it because they have to make it look beat up and old. But where the buildings were placed, I knew all those landmarks. 100% nailed it. The off ramp, just getting off the highway and walking up that ramp, totally I-15 south. What's the name of that exit? I forget the name of the exit, but that exit is dead on. Like that, I love that kind of crap when they really pay attention to that stuff. So
I liked the story came out that a guy who worked on the game snuck in like an Easter egg for his wife. He named the baseball stadium after his wife.
Oh, no way.
And in them being copying what was in the game for the show.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't even work with Naughty Dog anymore. They copied the exact name of the stadium, so it's now an Easter egg in the show as well. She
Oh,
got
no
her name
way.
copied onto the show too.
I
thought
love that.
was
That's
cute.
awesome. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. Yeah,
That's
they really went nuts with it. A lot of people. One of the other things was like people couldn't believe this giraffe was real. They all thought it was CG. No, it was a real giraffe.
It turns out giraffes are just weird ass animals.
Yeah.
And they're kind of unbelievable. Even when you see a real one, you're like, how does this be?
They do look like they're from Star Wars for sure. The most Star
Oh
Wars.
hell
looking
yeah!
animal.
They look like they should be going doing something weird, you know.
I have a coffee table book called Giraffes, and it's a fake like encyclopedia book all about giraffes and how they came to Earth from space on a giant escalator.
Wow.
And it's incredible. It's the true story of giraffes, the untold story of giraffes.
Finally, it can be told. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm in.
It
Also,
was good though.
Hardcore Realms coming to World of Warcraft Classic. Hardcore Realms. Do you know what that means? Well, that means it's going to be hardcore.
So it is coming. I thought it was rumored. So
It's rumored. It's rumored. So there's lines of code that have been discovered for basically like it has hardcore in the text, and it has a, you know, presumably when you make a character, it has code about a screen pop-up warning you what you're getting into.
Yeah.
So we don't know exactly what it's going to be, if it's going to follow, because there's a lot of like quote unquote hardcore modes for old World of Warcraft. Some only let you use gray items. Like it's just a rule structure. It could just mean permadeath, like it does in Diablo. It's hard to say exactly what it's going to be. But it seems like they're getting a little experimental with World of Warcraft Classic, and I think that's actually a cool thing. I think they should.
do
I think
too.
that's a sandbox they should screw around.
I agree. Go ahead and mess with it. It's not going to hurt anybody to do that. A lot of the private servers that existed before this, some still do. They would mess with this sort of stuff. And
yeah, I'm into this. This seems cool.
Yeah.
It brings PvP to a whole new context.
Can you imagine raiding where if you die, you're permanently dead?
Yeah.
You're raiding with all your friends. Something goes wrong. You're just like, shit, guys, I'm done.
Yep.
Bye.
Or
I can't.
Or what if
can't
you
bring
all
me
did?
back. I'm
It's
done.
even worse if it's all of you doing it, because let's say you've got a 40-man team. You're doing Ragnaros 40-man something, and you're all ready. You've been working, studying, practicing. You've done it a million times in your head. You've drawn out maps on paper. You're ready to go. And then the hunter F's up and pulls something he shouldn't and wipes the raid, and that's it. Everyone's done.
Yeah, make a new character, guys.
Holy shit.
We just gotta level up, gear up, rep up, and then we can do it all over again.
Yeah, that's just
It
insane.
might make races interesting though if they ever went with seasons for that kind of thing in conjunction with it. You know. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Well,
interesting.
Yeah, it's
interesting.
exciting stuff coming to World of Warcraft Classic. I think that's a great thing to do, so I'm glad they're doing it. The Diablo 4 beta starts tomorrow. We've referred to it a bunch in today's show, but it is happening tomorrow. I don't know how. Is it midnight tonight? When do they start?
No, I think it's 9 a.m. It'll be 10 your time tomorrow, I believe.
I have a show at 10.
Yeah, no, I have a work
Friggin'
day
jerks.
tomorrow.
Not respecting your
My
show
schedule.
times.
What the frick? Yeah, so we're all doing it, right? Bo paid $400
I paid
for it, Canadian.
$129.99 Canadian for the super stupid rich people wings, and you know.
You got the rich people wings, and you're gonna hit level 20 and get the weird little dog thing in your
And
backpack.
launch, I'll be able to play 4 days early, but I think I could have saved $10 and not get the wings and still had that. But
Yeah. Yeah. But
but
you're not going
I'm-
to have the accelerated Game Pass, Bo.
Oh, you're
When
right.
they ask for even more money for this
I don't wanna
$100
think
game
about
from you.
that. Let's not talk about it. That it hurt. I saw that on the list, and it really hurt. It hurts my feelings seeing that.
I know.
I'm
It'll
still
be
playing
okay,
that
though.
Doom game, and it hurts my feelings too. Like gaming, I really hate that shit.
Is that out yet?
I hope
Here in America,
I
I
hope.
mean? Sorry,
I mean,
go
I'm still playing it, but it's annoying, but it's fun. There isn't anything quite like it, and so I still find myself playing it. But yeah, That's the only part of this whole spiel that makes me nervous is like, am I going to see everyone in this season's battle pass armor when I go into, you know what I mean? You know that,
Yeah.
like when someone
No,
comes
yeah.
out in Marvel Snap and everyone's got like the season pass avatar, and I'm just like, oh, you bought that. Like it's kind of this blue check mark energy that's now pervading like every app where so I know someone's paid for their avatar or their armor. And it's, in Sea of Thieves, again, I hate it that people can just buy their way into having an awesome boat. The whole point of the loop is to earn pirate booty. Why would you circumvent a mechanic? And it just seems so core to the Diablo experience. Like, do shit, find cool armor. So why am I circumventing the whole system by paying ahead? Because they'll make money at it, regardless
Yeah,
of
and
my
and
misgivings.
that's been my big concern too. That's why I've said you'll know if it's bad or not, because if you are sitting there in all the gear that you farmed and worked hard to get and unlock, and you look not even remotely as cool as somebody who hit level 5 in their battle pass, like garbage. Like that's a whole grade down. If it was a 5-star game, it's now a 4-star game. If it's 4-star, it's 3-star.
Man, I
Like
shouldn't have bought those
that's
dumb wings.
some
I don't know what
bullshit.
I was thinking. I don't know why I paid the extra $10.
I think the wings came. I thought the wings.
I'm
came
not going
with-
to use them because I'm going to want to feel like I'm a new character
Right.
progressing in power. Why would I have awesome ass angel wings at level 1 at the start of
Yeah.
the story? It makes
Well,
no
it's just.
sense.
But now you got them all, and so later when you have all these other wings that you earned or whatever, you'll always have that one.
Yeah, I'll use them later when maybe I don't care, but still.
Sure.
When you
When
feel
I get
cool.
when I get into the game has public areas. That's what I mean. If I get into public area and everyone's got the armor of the ancients and it looks like, ridiculous dance hall light show, it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck.
Yep. Hey, would Super Lake Run have a battle pass? What do you think?
Hell
there?
no.
No.
I don't even know if I can charge for it at this point. Let alone a battle pass. I mean, I say that, but like literally, there's games with less than what my game has in it that will charge for stuff. I saw Doctor Who took the greasy money route recently, for example.
Oh. Wait.
Where it's just meters filling up. And
Oh,
you
yeah,
press
yeah.
it, and then to speed it up, you can pay money. It's the worst.
I know.
Anyways.
It's just they boil down gaming. It's like that stupid chess game that's still on my phone, and I once in a while play it. It's like you're reminded. I know.
Can you pay? Can you pay to advance?
No, in
that
this
game?
case, no. You could.
Oh, that's fine then.
Okay. I say you can't pay directly, but back when the game was new, you could hit ads or watch ads to speed it up. But now the ads don't work, and so the mechanic doesn't work at all. So if I click it, it doesn't do anything. But you could watch an ad, and then things would like crank, and you'd improve your luck.
I guess that like I don't know. Anyways, it's
state of
gotta
things,
earn
man.
revenue somehow, I guess. But still, it makes the game itself worse. As lovers of games, it's definitely poo.
It's poo.
It's a shit stain on your game, and that's I worry about the shit stains in Diablo 4 because I really like Diablo. And
Yeah,
I don't
same.
want it. I don't want to have shit stains on it.
Same. Do you think that game starts? This is totally off the point here. Maybe we know this because someone showed it. I don't know, but does the game start with the same cinematic they showed in at BlizzCon that year to announce it?
The
think they
game
showed
starts
it.
with the cinematic that they showed at, I don't remember what it was. Was it Gamescom or whatever? They showed a cinematic recently. that
Where it's all
kind
out.
of came across like a nothing cinematic. A lot of people I saw going, and like didn't care about it. But I think the thing that was like cool about that cinematic is the character in it is your character.
Yeah, it's gameplay.
That's not a character that's going to be, around. That's your character that you customize.
Yeah, that's
I think
real
that's
time.
cool.
That's real time engine stuff. Yeah, I also think it's cool. I think that's when your character is birthed. But I'll bet you when you fire the game up, you get a big Blizzard Entertainment Presents, and you get that again. And I will watch it again.
yeah.
I will totally watch that again, no problem. But I think that's what you get there. I could be
Maybe
wrong.
there's a new one.
Could be.
Maybe there's a. Well, we might not even see it. They might not be available for beta. So
Yeah. Someone in the chat had to pay, or someone in the chat wanted to get a key without having to go buy the KFC Double Down, so they got on eBay while the show was going. And in real time, right here in front of us, they went and bought a beta key off eBay. And I thought,
It
well, I wonder
worked.
what that costs. And he said it was only $9. It's pretty good.
I mean, you can't charge too much for it because, otherwise just pre-order the game or otherwise just get a double down.
But he probably added, what, a year to his life by not eating that double down?
Yeah,
You know?
he's making up for it. And
That's what I'm saying.
Life. Can you really put it in that? And that's $9 for who knows how many extra years of life.
Right.
Good point. He won. That's actually, even though he didn't get anything, he won.
It's Scipio. He says he's installing as we speak. Very nice, dude. Tomorrow you'll be one of us.
No, for me, it's like more 6 p.m. Eastern. I'll probably not get started right away because of a work day.
Same.
It sucks. I'm really stoked. I'm so excited to get in there and see numbers.
Do we know if all the classes are available in the?
Yeah, I was gonna ask what class
No, it's
you rolling
not
first.
all.
What are they? Do we know? What they're
I
including?
think it's Barbarian, Rogue, and Wizard, maybe?
Boo.
It's not
Well,
Necro.
Sorcerer.
Not
but
that. Barbarian, Sorcerer, and Rogue.
yeah. Okay.
Well, it will shock you all to know that I think I'm playing the Rogue.
Yeah. Shocking. Shocking is the word. I
Let
was
me
thinking.
surprise you all that I'm going to play the Rogue.
I wanted the Necro on day one. I mean, we will on the game's day one, but I wanted to beta test the Necromancer. It's not there though. Or the
What about you, Bo?
the other one, whatever it is.
I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. It's likely Barbarian, but
Same.
All right, Scott, you have to play. No, you have to play Sorcerer. Bo took it. You had your chance, but you just wanted to complain about.
I
the
mean, I like
Necros. Now you
magic
have to play the
characters.
Sorcerer.
If the sorcerer is immediately like, oh, this isn't just
Oh wait,
wizard.
chat's saying Druid Rogue, Barbarian Druid Rogue.
Oh, then I'll do druid. You guys be your things. I'll be a druid.
Druid was
you guys be your things.
I want to be.
I'm good.
You know what? Bo should be the druid because he looks like that druid they showed us. That all hairy druid they showed. You should do it.
Yeah, I'm definitely more jungly in the hair department.
Well, we will likely stream it and show it and play it. And
I might play Rogue too, though. I might steal John's thunder.
Oh, John,
Man,
those
some
fighting
dark
words.
business
Yeah.
going on when the Rogue starts getting.
I mean,
double
The plan is to play all three and hit 20, right? I mean, I don't know how
Yes.
they said there's a lot in this beta, but I'm like skeptical. I'm like, you only get to level 20. How much is there?
You only have to do 20 on one character though, right? To get the goat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to get the puppy, but like,
Everybody just wants the stupid puppy, and nobody's happy about it, but everybody wants it.
Yeah,
like
I
that's.
want it.
I feel like that's where we are all at right now. Is we're like, look, I'm not happy about this. I don't like that. I want the stupid backpack puppy, but I want it, and I'm gonna do what it takes to get it, and that's just it.
I still think it's a goat. I know it's not, but I just think it is. I know it isn't though.
Why?
I
'Cause
just-
you want it. To
I
be?
want it to be a goat back there. I don't know
think a
why.
goat would be cute. I think it's a great idea. A little baby goat.
Yeah, a little devil goat, like a
Eh?
not even.
Oh, like one that's like mildly, like just devilish looking.
well,
where the
they're
eyes have,
all
like,
they all seem like Satan's helpers, so I'd be fine with any kind of goat really. But I just like the idea of it be back there going "Meh," every once in a while.
Maybe they will. Like this is
Yeah,
what's
but
for
no.
the beta. So who knows what's going to be in the game? Maybe you'll get your goat.
Max level of the final game, I don't know the answer to that, 60 or 70, but this game, the beta is 20 only. First act, basically, right? Is that the deal? I think.
that's what chat room's saying. I don't really know. But
First act was what they did with 3 as well. I think. Oh, no. You could only go as far as Lich King, or not Lich King, Skeleton King. What's his name?
I don't know why that's so funny.
Leoric?
Leoric. You get as far as Leoric, and then you're done. They didn't do the whole act.
And I play a WoW RPG.
suffer as I have suffered.
Best thing about him is when he's coming together, like he's laying there dead, but then the bits of armor going chunk, chunk, and it's making him jerk around his chair. And that was
Yeah,
2012.
he's cool. He's
He's
a cool boss.
He is cool. Freaking Leoric's a badass. Except his audio stuff before he turned into the Death King or whatever, it always bugged me a little because he's like this. Oh, my kingly nature is of such that I believe that. And he's just like, dude, you were never like this. Are you kidding me?
Right.
What a bunch of shit.
He was epic. I mean, Diablo leans into its
Yeah.
into its tropes. It's not just a deathly field. It's a field of misery.
Yep. And it's going to get a little more miserable.
Okay, Chad is now clarifying for
Okay.
sure. Seeing as they argued with each other for a while, I've learned to wait for Chat to fight, and now we just get
Yep.
the end result.
This is true Chat GPT
rogue,
right here.
Barbarian, and sorcerer.
It is
what's,
sorcerer then, not
yeah.
not the other thing,
not the druid.
not the druid. Really? Okay.
Wait, so but that's in the first. So there's 2 beta weekends, right?
Yeah, and the next beta weekend, Necromancer and Druid.
So then it says once the open beta weekend comes around, then Druid and Necromancer will be playable.
Okay. I'm in.
I
Interesting.
guess I'm waiting for an expansion because I want to play as a Crusader or a Paladin or whatever.
Oh yeah, they don't really have. Oh no, wait. There's a knight or something, right? Are we forgetting a
No, there's
class?
5 classes.
Hold on, Diablo 4
I
classes.
feel like I heard that the Paladin was coming back, but I don't think they ever did it.
Okay, Diablo 4 early access dates, but I don't want that. Classes. Here we go. Rogue, Barbarian, Druid, Sorceress, Necro. Yeah, that's it. I swear there was like a plate wearing dude.
Yeah, there's a big hole in the roster for me because I played Paladin in Diablo 2 and I played Crusader in Diablo 3 the most. I played everything in Diablo 3, but so there's a bit of a hole in the what I like to play in Diablo, but I will survive.
Knowing what I know of you, you'll make good use of this freaking
I kind of think
rogue. You'll rogue her.
they're
to death.
gonna.
Sorry, go ahead.
They're gonna add classes as DLC. I would hope there's a more proactive plan to add classes as DLC.
I would hope so.
Even
as
Just
well.
like the Rogue in Diablo 1.
Oh my gosh, Johnny, you in the comments? Sorry. I'm on the wiki. Here are all the comments. There's only like 3. No Crusader.
Oh.
Thanks, I'll pass. Says this guy.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm not getting my money.
Yeah.
Done.
This guy says
There's
every single expansion ever released has in Diablo includes at least one class that's like the Paladin. The Paladin is coming. It may not be named Paladin, but it's coming. So this other guy says,
Chill out, it's coming.
are we going to get the Crusader? If not, I pass. It's like all these passers. You liars.
I'm telling you, the Crusader was a really cool class in Diablo 3. It was neat.
I agree. They got to
I mean,
say
there's still naysayers. They saw the Diablo Twitter showcase some of the console gameplay,
yeah.
and you should see the comments. It was a little on the bright side, I think, or something, and everyone's like, "What the hell? This is different than all the marketing. It's so bright. I'm not playing this." It's like, I hope I can still refund my game. Like, there's all these comments that were like super negative because it didn't look dark, and I'm like, okay, come on, you guys.
There is a
And, like,
certain kind of person that you just described that I don't want to be around ever. You know what I'm saying? People
Yeah,
that
no, I
think
know what
like
you mean,
that,
'cause I was like,
I don't want to be
come
anywhere
on.
near those people. I hate
They're
it.
still gonna play the game. It's just like when
Yes.
people get mad at us and something we say on the show where they're like, whatever. I used to like you guys before you spoiled The Last of Us. And then 2 weeks later, we get another comment about something else we said on the show. They're still listening.
Yeah.
They're still playing Diablo 4. It's all, they're not going anywhere. They're just trying to get what they want.
Yep. It's a lot like when someone just brought it up in the chat, so I'll bring it up. But when a Democrat president is elected, a bunch of Republicans claim they're leaving. When a Republican president gets elected, a bunch of Democrats say they're leaving. It happens every
Everybody's still
freaking
here.
time, and I hate it because
Everybody's
none of
still
them
here.
go. They don't go anywhere. They just say they're gonna. And it doesn't. It's a universal truth across the political spectrum. It's the one thing we agree on is that we're going to fake like we're going to leave when your guy gets in. Stupid.
What does it mean when I say no matter who's being elected that I'm going to leave and I still haven't done it?
I don't care who, what party, doesn't matter. I'm out of here. If there's ever another president, I'm leaving. I like that. I'll go with you. Let's go to Mexico. Make the best of it.
I'm to Canada. Don't go to Mexico.
Yeah, why are we going to Mexico, Scott?
I don't know. It's nice down there.
I want to see snow.
Oh.
Oh, because you're a desert.
Yeah, I
guy.
like deserts. I'm a desert rat. Okay,
We
fine.
got like tundra. That's like a grassy, mossy
Yeah,
desert.
it's like a cold desert. It's wet snow. It's wet sand.
Yeah,
You're
that's
like tundra.
real nice. Everybody wants
You
one.
don't know
wet
anything
sand.
about tundra. I'll show you the ropes about tundra.
We had a little tundra this year. We had a rough one. A good one, though, because it means we'll have plenty of water and no weird droughts next year, at least in the valley. But
Oh man, our
Right.
economy is gonna go in the toilet. We can't sell water to other people. Oh wait, no, we buy it. From
You
people.
buy it. You're Phoenix. You buy all your water. You'll buy it from us. We're often.
Yeah, send it our way. We need it.
I'm pretty sure we sell you guys water. Anyway, moving on. Final story. This is great because Diablo's part of his legacy. But Jay Wilson, former head of the Diablo team for Diablo 3, he was the lead there, is working on an action RPG of his own, and it's also got survival crap in it. Don't know what that means yet, but Jay Wilson.
Does it have an auction house?
New studio. I hope not. I don't think he was ever for that. I think that was forced upon him.
I know. I'm being mean, I guess.
It was. I think
No,
he's even said as
he's
much.
known for we cranked the difficulty up all the way and then we doubled it. He's the doubled it guy. That's
Yeah.
the meme.
Oh, right.
That's the meme about Inferno difficulty at launch. That's
right.
yeah. That's what
People
gave a shit
really
for.
look at launch Diablo 3 with rose tinted glasses. Let me tell you, I remember running through that game with 2 shields equipped on my arms as a monk and just knowing something had gone wrong.
Could you do that? To have 2 shields as a monk?
Yes, and you had to. It was bullshit.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I don't remember that stuff.
Yeah, I don't miss getting strength rolls on all my gear when I'm a monk. Yeah. Well,
Also, Jen O'Neill. So yeah, it is Jen O'Neill. Jen O'Neill and J. Allen Brack have founded a new studio together. That's an interesting combo of people.
That is an
Yeah,
interesting
right?
combo.
Because she was the
like Brack went out with the allegations.
yeah.
The fact that he's public again maybe means it happened on his watch.
Yeah.
But you'd be like, I don't know. But then he's with Jen O'Neill, the token, and her. I don't know if she publicly made a statement, but what felt like she was tokenized as the new female leadership because she got paid way less than Mike Ibarra.
Yeah.
So resigned, and so those two have joined forces, which it's interesting. I guess there's a vouching facet to this for Brack because we don't know what went on behind closed doors. So it seems like, the woman's rights
easy
person
to
is teaming up with
that he was a bit of a sacrificial lamb to a degree.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
I believe it is in the document that things got brought to his attention that I think even he might have admitted he wished he had taken more seriously or done different actions for.
Yeah.
But I think most people, when you look at the timeline, say that the worst offenders and the biggest problems happened before he was in charge of Blizzard.
Yeah.
That is the general understanding that I have. I didn't really miss him when he left because a lot of bad things happened under his watch, but how much of that was already going to happen? How much of that did he have a say in? I mean, we certainly have talked about it with the dude that's in charge now. How much is he just a puppet for Activision?
Your bar, yeah.
Is hard to say. So
yeah, it was mostly under Morheim's watch, and there's credible information that says that he was completely out of the loop on a lot of it. Maybe not all of it, but he also wasn't actively seeking out problems in the company or trying to make sure we're all flying right. So I think Mike probably owns most of that responsibility. J. Allen Brack, in a way, is, I don't know what to call him, sacrificial lamb. Someone said that's what he is. It's like, well,
I see a comment in the chat, and if this is what people are thinking, I think it's worth addressing. Just because a woman works with him isn't proof of anything. Well, 1, nobody said that. But 2, the reason we're talking about it is because Jen O'Neill was the person who came in to replace him with an eye for improving things. So if she specifically is willing to work with him, I think there is something that can be inferred.
Yeah,
not because just because she's a woman, but from her specifically.
I'm not making this comment just because. Wow, a woman's gonna work with J. Allen Brack. He must be a good guy. It's because it's Jen O'Neill.
Yeah, that's the point.
It means something.
That's the point.
She's a tenured Vicarious Visions employee. They've known each other for a while, but she was the tokenized woman who she left in protest.
Yeah. It's all context. If you don't know the story, that's fine, Chad. But
So I mean, I'm not saying he's an angel or anything. I'm just saying it's of note because these game developers, they trade on their reputations, right? They bring stuff to market. You don't want to be the Jared Fogle of the game development community. and it's not going to help you sell your products, so it's just, I don't know who's who. And because stuff gets like NDA'd and behind closed doors, you're kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to get hyped for someone who turns out to be a pedo, and it's happened. It happens.
Yeah.
You're just like, I really like that guy, and it's like, he's a terrible human being. I'm like, well, shit. I
Yep.
wish I could have just avoided this altogether.
Another one you thought you
So-
liked. Yeah, turns out it's a dude.
So it makes me feel good when stuff like that happens. It makes me feel good when I think Chris has been on your interview vouching for Jay Wilson and stuff like that. Like Chris has publicly, vouched for Diablo 3 and the vision behind it, and that he supported it and stuff like that. And it's hard to know when things go wrong.
He and Jay were
Not
tight.
that you want to find blame, but they make future projects. Should we be excited about them? Are they good people? Like I want to, I don't want to feel like I'm funding a bunch of sexual harassers or whatever, so it matters a little bit.
Yeah, it does matter a little.
And Jen O'Neill, I just think I remember Brack was also part of the Blitzchung Hong Kong thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Again, not that he was steering the ship completely. Activision's like, don't talk about China. And he's like, okay. But he wore a pin, or he tried to. I remember his BlizzCon speech being all right. Like, it looked like he was trying to say more than he really could about it.
Yeah.
But I'm just inferring that. It's not based on any proof.
I mean, on the one hand, I don't think he was. I think he's fine. But part of me, my other problem is I just don't think he was much of a leader during that period. And again, part of that is because they're not letting him be, or they're not. That's not why he's there. They're playing.
Yeah.
They're playing damage control.
Leadership's like one thing if you're master of your own leadership, like publicly, because there's behind closed doors and what that looked like.
Yeah.
It's different.
Two very
when a bunch
different
of people
things.
are telling you how to lead. Like, good leadership is not telling any of Activision's dirty secrets and making sure to protect Activision before any of your employees. And you're like, I don't know about this.
Yeah,
Sucks.
I don't like this job. This job kind of
Yeah.
sucks. Chat room also asked, didn't that picture, I love this question, didn't that picture guy you got guest on the Instance try to make his own game too? Yes, Kurt Schilling he made a game. Well, they published a game, Kingdoms of Amalur, and that
It
came
was
out.
great. That's
It was a great game, and it was already somebody else's, but they bought it and published it. And then they tried to make an MMO, and then they ran out of funding. You should really read up on 38 Studios and their rise and fall, because it's a hell of a
They
story.
crippled the state, and they got real upset.
Yeah, it's a big mess. It's still a giant mess, but that is one of I kind of envy the person for asking this question, because I wish I didn't.
Because they don't know.
Yeah, I wish I didn't know all of it. It's a really that's a dark patch in my professional time doing this, because Kurt went freaking off the reservation, man. Anyway, people don't like using that phrase either, right? You're not supposed to say that, off the reservation.
Yeah, it's probably not the best.
All right,
Probably
I'll
not.
say he was
Off the rails.
He went off the rails. There are no ethnic or racial connections to rails, as far as I
He
know.
missed the cocaine rail and was just huffing glass table. That's what that means. Right? Off the rails.
I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it.
Oh,
Yeah, there are a couple
Anyways.
of dark spots.
I mean, and we don't exactly live in a time, and like I'm part of this. We're very forgiving. Once people cross a certain threshold, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think there's a problem with that too.
there is.
like,
There
I
can
mean,
be.
like-
but
there is a reason that theoretically prisons exist. The idea that people can reform. I know, like, we're opening a whole can of worms here, but
Yeah.
like the theory that people can change and reform, it's always seemed a little hypocritical to be like, oh, I don't believe in the death penalty. I don't think we should kill anybody, but people don't change. And if somebody screws up one time, you should certainly never forgive them.
Yeah.
a
like,
felon
it's-
who served 20 years, can he go get a job and he served his time? Like the
There's
stigmas
just-
and all that.
There's just
Yeah.
a lot of issues. I think I think we have not enough forgiveness and maybe an overabundance of judgment.
Yep.
Not to say that there aren't some pretty bad people out there that have done some bad things, and good that they got held to account. But the court of public opinion is not known for having reasonable sentencing.
No, it's just a mob with torches. It's the same as it ever was. It's just now you all have a computer to warrior behind. It's the only difference.
Yeah.
I hate it. Moving on. Let's read this email that I got here. Oh, you know what that means? I got to play this business from Mega Man.
That's a good question.
We got an email and some texts and some stuff here from listeners. This first one's an email from Will in Albuquerque. He sent it to talktothecore@gmail.com, and he says, "Good morning, core folks. Do you guys
Good
like
morning.
do you like being a folk? You all right with
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
Folks are.
I
okay.
say
think it's-
folks all the time.
It's very folksy,
Yeah.
literally. But anyway, he says, I have over 8,000 hours in Destiny across both games. Have a Destiny.
Whoa,
How
what a
many
terrible
times?
game.
How many times did that guy pay $60, Scott?
That's all right. Every time is the answer. He says, I have a Destiny tattoo, and I am generally a mark
shit.
for Destiny content. This new expansion takes the problems that Destiny had previously with story and cranks it up to 11. It doesn't explain, he says it doesn't explain anything.
It takes the problems and cranks them to 11. What
He
a
says,
feature.
after last year's story was so good and largely self-contained, it was a real letdown. That said, the seasonal stories that play out week to week have been stellar for the last few years. Sorry for your encounter with the shitlord side of the community. Will from Albuquerque, in a reference to last week's email, or last week's complaint about meeting
I mean,
hardcore.
one thing I think we undersold about these kinds of games is that even if the game is fun, but it's not good in some ways, the community that you have in that game can make up for a lot of it.
Yeah,
Like there are shit games you could play, but if you're playing with your friends, it's a great time.
Sure.
And I think Destiny does have like gamer communities, and that might be a reason that people stay.
it's also large, so there's for every turd you got 3 good people, so you're still in the lead there.
But yeah. Previously takes the problems Destiny has previously had with story, and so it's the story that really just blows.
It's not
John.
just on the internet, it's on 11 internets.
It's on all the internets. I don't know if you're familiar with the internet, but every internet.
I don't know. So they just do they have like a writer there who needs to be deposed? Like they must have a writing staff. But some people get arrogant or just not producing good stuff, and you can't get rid of them because they're your employment contracts and they're your. It just seems to me like I don't know. I don't know how groups handle this when a writer, like a creative, really falls out of favor with the community.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I mean that a little bit of that's going on with Neil Druckmann. I don't know the full story behind why people seem to have such a torch out for that guy, but the creator of Last of Us and co-executive producer of the TV show getting raked over the coals because their original concept was for the game that he pitched. So this is like early draft kind of sketch area for the game before they even started. Was that kind of a Y the Last Man story? It was going to be except it was flipped. Only women were infected by the cordyceps infection, and except Ellie, who was immune for some reason, and so Joel's still part of the story and trying to get Ellie somewhere so they can find out if there's a way to cure this thing, but it just affected women, which he thought, oh, that's a really interesting idea. He took it to everybody else in the place, and and this is from his own words, and I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said, I was shot down by a whole bunch of people, especially female developers on the team, who rightly told me that I wasn't thinking it fully through. Like there's a real misogynistic angle to this. As interesting as it is to say, oh, what if it only affected one gender? Like Why the Last Man? Why only the men dying kind of thing.
Right, and what that does to a society.
Exactly. It's interesting.
Interesting thought experiment. Also, probably not a great idea.
Not exactly a great idea in execution. And so they changed gears and threw it away. And he agreed. He was like, yeah, I don't think this is going to work. Let's go this other direction. And people were so mad hearing this story saying, who thinks of that? Who would have thought of this idea? And I went, I don't know. I feel like I might have. And then people would have told me it was a bad idea and I would have corrected myself. Just like he did. I don't
Sounds
understand.
like the literal thought police. Like
Yeah,
mad about what you thought.
Yeah,
I don't
know
get
what
it.
I mean, but it's not even a bad idea. I mean, unless you think Why the Last Man is a bad idea. I mean, half of it rests on execution, but it's just the problem is that's the world we live in to some people. Women have a disease. It's called, giving birth to things. And, like that. It's not really sci-fi. Like that is, all you just do is imagine the world as it is now. They have to be protected, infantilized, controlled. They can't help them. It's not really science. I think that's why the idea is just bad. It's just, it's like, it's not an exercise in interesting imagination because
No.
they literally have a disease. It's called being female to misogynistic men.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely right. And I think that imagine this is a video game, not a TV show. TV show, maybe you could get away with this more because you're mostly talking story and exposition. But in a game, you're moving through these buildings and these labyrinthian cities and everything, taking out mushroom zombies left and right. The gameplay of that game.
Oh yeah, you'd be murdering women.
You'd be just killing women all day. That's all you do is kill women. And that's
the women would all be
problematic.
monsters, and the men would be there'd probably be some evil raiders. Like you probably have to protect Ellie from, you know, the evil rapey men, which is kind of a thing even in this version. But
even in this, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I think some of those themes are worth exploring. Obviously, it's we're people who want to explore these themes. But my big complaint was not that they didn't go that direction, or even if they had, just this idea that how could have even thought of this idea? Who thinks of this? I'm like, I'm sorry to tell you, but a lot of people in positions where they don't have to normally think about this stuff, the way that we take it for granted. I take it for granted that I can go outside, like. I can go downtown right now and walk all around town in the dark and not worry about my safety. I wouldn't worry at all. Mm-hmm. Tell that to the women in your life, and they're like, that must be nice. And you have to sometimes be reminded of this stuff. Like I was doing a logo for Frog Pants that was I did this on Twitter, so you guys may have seen it, but basically it was like a silhouette of a frog, and he's super jaunty, kicking his leg out, and his eyes are white. The rest of him is like very contrasted black against orange, and it's like a full-bodied frog just looking cool with his white pants on. And I had a couple of black folks in our community, among others, say on our Discord, say that they saw it and they went, "Oh my gosh, that was like supposed to be like a minstrel thing. Are you doing like a weird blackface thing with the character?" And of course I didn't mean to do that or intend to do that, or it wasn't ever part of the process at all. Mm-hmm. But once you hear from the people who are most affected by those things, it was impossible for me not to see it. I saw it and went, "Oh, you know what? You're kind of right." And I'm not that in love with this anyway. I'm happy to go a different direction. It's fine. Yeah. Like that's all this is freaking course correction.
Look at how much feedback you got when you were like, "Hey guys, I don't know anything about symbology. Can you look at these symbols and tell me if any of them are problematic?" How many of those symbols came back problematic for one reason?
90% of them.
The Nazi symbols, please.
There was a ton of them. I was looking at these like Norse symbols. This is for my new card game that's almost done, and it's to help colorblind people see what cards they have because there's a lot of color involved. So the whole intent was just, I want to have these distinguishing marks, and I thought those look cool because they look kind of fantasy. The game's called Dungeon Murder. It looked like it fit well. But then I thought, some of these, I just don't know anything about these. What do these mean? So I put the whole grid up on Twitter. My gosh, I probably came this close to using like 15 different really old Nazi hate symbols that are super circulated even today. I don't know this shit. How do I know this?
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to. There was like maybe one or two where I was like, "Scott, that looks a little suspicious." They're probably the ones that made you go, "I'm going to ask about this before I do it."
Exactly.
But
right.
I wouldn't have known like half of them. And like that's the thing is you put stuff out there and you get broader perspectives because not everybody's story is your story, and that's a part of the creative process.
That's all it is.
It should be a blessing that we can do this. It shouldn't be like a death sentence that you tried to do right. And how could he even think about using Norse symbols, trying to help the colorblind? What a monster.
Yeah, what a terrible human.
It's just bizarre. Kyle told me something recently. I think he said it to the stream, but I assumed it was to me only because I know Kyle. And he said that there's something about this time of year where people just latch on and drum up any drama they can possibly get their hands on. Mm-hmm. And I've started thinking about it ever since he said it. And it's becoming truer and truer. I think Kyle might be a secret.
Do you think
prophet.
It's like this late winter? We're all sick of it. We're ready for spring,
where we've all been cooped up, except here in Arizona, where we've finally been allowed to go outside. But yeah, it might be something like that. I didn't put it in news. It's not worth talking about. Final Fantasy community is up in arms over a chair right now.
I'm sorry. What
like
happened?
the drama in the world right now is people latching onto
Is it a
weird
Nazi chair?
shit. Nope, just a chair. And it's been big drama. So it's just crazy.
Yeah, that
So,
is a little
and
crazy.
and also it's like you said earlier, anytime anything gets big, more and more voices are gonna want to take a shot at it. You know, I think there's something in people that when they see success and either they don't like it or they're jealous of it or they just want to have a contrarian opinion, they look at it and they go, how can I take a swing at this? And they'll take any shot they can see.
I also just prefer a more practical approach to these things. Chat room, or Baton in the chat room says, I think symbols should be thought of for their original meaning, referring to like the swastika being the Indian symbol for good luck and has other ancient sort of roots.
Well, good luck.
Good luck, dude.
People to think about that.
Yeah, good luck with that. I wish you the best.
I agree in principle.
Yeah, good luck. I wish we could take it back. I wish we could take the swastika back and turn it into what it was before Hitler and his people got a hold of it and twisted it forever. I wish that could be done.
And I wish Dr. Gay Hitler didn't have to change his name.
A giant world war and 6 million Jews dead later. You don't just get to go, flip it back. No. We're good. We got the old symbol back, you guys. Good job. It doesn't work like that. I'm sorry. It's just not practical. I wish it was. I'm with you in spirit.
Yeah. I hate that people take things away. You know, it's annoying. It sucks, but it's the nature of the world.
And who knows? 1,000 years from now, nobody cares. You know, it does switch back. Eventually, it becomes a cool part of your Hot Wheels set you buy, and all the cars come to the middle on a swastika and change lanes, and you know, like something weird like that.
Our first intergalactic spaceship will be swastika.
Yeah, just a big swastika because everyone will have forgotten by then, and we'll take it back, and it'll mean peace again or whatever. But you know,
like the only efficient way to do
think of the look on those
swastika.
aliens' face when they get down here and they go, "Our ship means what?"
Yeah, what again? I'm sorry.
Oh, that would be hilarious. Aliens visit. They have a swastika-shaped ship.
Yeah.
Like,
wait a minute. We were here
really
1,000.
NPC aliens, but nice to meet you.
We were here 1,000 years ago.
Before they even get off the ship, everybody's mad outside.
They'll be mad.
Life finally visits the planet. People are like, get out of here.
They'll be mad because they were here. They were here 1,000 years ago when it meant peace, and then they went and built all their ships.
Aliens.
Yeah, and then their ships came back, and they're now shaped like the peace symbol, and they were excited to show us. It's like, hey, we've been gone for 1,000 years. Look what we did to our ships. It's like that peace symbol you all have, and we'll go, shit, Hitler's back. It's space Nazis, and they'll go, what? Wait, and then then what?
Yeah, then we'll start a war just because they were shaped differently. We were being racist while trying to be not racist. They're shaped like swastikas. They have to be evil. Kill them all.
Kill them all. All right.
And then they're like, we need peace. We're like Vulcans, but swastika shaped.
We're like Vulcans. I like that they would know that coming in.
Yeah, they've studied a lot of our culture, but maybe missed a couple key pieces.
Yeah. They've binged TNG, so they know
we saw Star Trek. Nothing that referenced Nazis, but we saw Star Trek.
That's good. Nick from Springfield, Massachusetts wrote in, and this was a text to 801-471-0462. John talking about his headphones is exactly why people like him and myself probably aren't ever adopting VR. Man. Says we both have our really hard time using headphones that completely isolate you from the world around you. VR does that exact thing, but with your eyes. And if you if you use your headphones, those two, it's just an uncomfortable experience for me not to have that sense to use around me. I can't explain it. Thanks, Nick. Well, I mean, you lumped John in there, but John, do you feel that way? Is that why you don't like it? It isolates you?
It's a little bit of that. I mean, to me, it's just like I owned a Nintendo Wii. I know what it's like to have a system that's like changing things up. We're about experiences, man. But like that stupid little piece of plastic that sits on top of my TV falls behind the TV all the time. Do I really want to go fish it out with its tiny little cord and untangle it and put it back on the TV? No. And if I don't want to do that, I don't want to figure out a headset. So I just there to his point, yes. I don't like being isolated. The only time I would use VR would be a situation We're like, I've told everybody in the house. All right, I'm gonna be going into VR.
I'm going in now.
You gotta leave me alone. We're gonna have a safe word or a safe shoulder tap or something to let me know if I need to come out. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I'm gonna be in here. I don't like to. I just don't like to close off the world. I don't like wearing headphones. I know that's kind of the point of it. So I would have to go into it knowing that's what I was doing,
I get you.
and then I would be okay. But there would never be a point where I'd just be sitting around and go, on a lark today, I think I might do VR. Like that would never happen. It'd be too much of a thing for me.
Yeah, I get it. I do
But
like.
you could use your shoulder headphones in VR, so then people could be like John, and you would hear them coming.
That's kind of what the built-in Quest ones are
Right.
like, Bo, right? Like they're not really headphones.
Yeah,
are
the
like,
built-in Quest ones actually also, you don't have to have headphones to use the built-in Quest ones, but
Yeah, but if
I
I'm
never
going
use it.
into VR, I'm going in to trick myself. Like I'm going in for that purpose. So
You're
I would
going all the
never
way in.
do the shoulder ones for that because it would be
Yeah,
how
okay.
immersed in it could I become? Because
Mm.
that's the point. It's like, you know,
I understand. I wear headphones all the time, so like I
Yeah.
get it. But if you're trying to make a compromise, like not to have a heart attack from someone scaring you or something,
Yeah.
But yeah,
Nobody wants that.
like maybe if you're playing Beat Saber, it's fine. Like, how immersed do you need to be playing Beat Saber?
Yeah, no kidding.
yeah, that's true. That's a good
Did you
example.
guys see that video? Somebody got their Steam Deck running Beat Saber on the headset. So their Steam Deck is the computer and they're tethered to it
cool.
to a Quest, and the
Nice.
Quest is playing
Oh,
full blown
wow.
90 frame per second, no issues Beat Saber. I
Oh,
guess
that's
Beat
kinda
Saber.
sick.
I guess there's not a
That's
lot
kinda
going on
sick.
in Beat Saber. You still have all the movement and world, and plus you're rendering it on that screen and your headset. I'm just surprised. And he streamed it. That's the other thing. He streamed it at 60, so captured at 90, headset
Streamed it
on,
using,
Steam
like-
Deck capture, and then streamed it with OBS on the device at 60 frames.
Wow.
Isn't that cool? I thought that was
That's
great.
crazy.
Yeah, that's one thing I kind of want
I
to
love
do.
my Steam Deck.
Is the streamer packs, like the backpacks where you go streaming on the go?
Oh yeah,
I kind of want to do stuff.
I could
like
see
that
you doing
sometime.
that. I could totally see you doing that.
Even if just it was like for something like BlizzCon or something. I don't know. Just, you know what I mean? Like not all the time, but like I kind of like. Just takes a bit of setup, but I like the idea of doing it in VR. This is extra equipment.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it'd be what,
know,
180 degree video or whatever, right? Real time. Is that what that is?
oh, even that would be cool. That's one
360.
rough thing. Some people do try to capture their VR video in VR 180, and that is nauseating because head movements and all. It's
Well, that being said, I would kill for Bo's 2016 or 50. Was it 2016 or 17? Bush Burger moment, like having that captured in a VR 360 video format.
that'd be
where
awesome. I
that'd
mean,
be
it's
amazing.
like baseline minimum 5K for. I need an 8K camera and some. I need an 8K camera and some lenses right now. It's
some
like
big-ass
$5,000 to $10,000
batteries, right?
to do VR 180, and yeah, you get like not a lot of battery life.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
though.
I don't know, but
I would follow you. I would follow your lifestyle, your streamed lifestyle, if you did this.
it'd be so dope.
Yeah, you could program like this, making lake run like this, doing an actual lake run like this, whatever you want to do. Bo's out there letting it fly. Thank you for your emails and your texts, you guys. We really appreciate it. Again, talk to thecore@gmail.com or text us 801-471-0462. That also includes voicemails. If you'd rather leave one of those, we're happy to play those on the show. So keep those coming. I would like to thank some patrons real quick. Brand new one this week, Sundays Without joined us. I'm curious about the origin of that name, but I like it. Patreon.com/core show is where Sundays Without signed up to never have ads or commercials, pre-show content every week. And check this out. Here's a monthly benefit that I'm such an idiot. I've already told everybody at the level that I screwed up. But back in November, we hit a goal that we had put in there forever ago that said I would send monthly art to people at a certain level every month, video game related art in the mail when we hit that level. We hit the level and then forgot the F about it. I did. It's nobody else's fault. So here's what you can expect at that higher level. You've already been told on there, so I'll just say it out loud. But if you're part of that level, you're going to get November, December, January, and February art all caught up
Whoa.
and a new one this month. So I'm making good on it. We hit the level. Now we're going to make good. Okay?
Wow.
So there's that. I still
I mean, I
have
feel
to...
like we all share responsibility for the patron. There's 3 of us here, but if your buddy takes responsibility, then how can I take it? He already took it.
I took your response. Yes. So feel
That's a
relaxed.
Trailer Park Boys reference.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
Yeah, since Bubbles took responsibility for burning down the trailer, Ricky, who did burn down the trailer, is like, "Well, he already took responsibility.
Yeah.
I can't take what he already took."
That's such a
Already been
Ricky
taken.
thing.
That was the point.
That's the most Ricky ass belief of all time. That's something Ricky would only believe.
Someone
There's
takes
a
the
strange
responsibility.
logic to it at the same time.
I've been watching that again. And you know what's not bad? A lot of people disagree with me on this, but their animated season, I liked it.
Yeah,
Thought it was
animated's
funny.
Good too.
Yeah.
Just more of the same, but animated.
I wouldn't mind more.
Kind
of
of
it.
gross. I don't like the. There's one with the herpy
Oh yeah, the herpy.
or the tapeworm. It's a tapeworm.
That was a
It's like
herpy.
Yeah,
tapeworm.
the tapeworm was a bit rough.
Tapeworm's rough. Like just the way it's animated is really
Oh,
gross.
it's worse in
'Cause
animation.
He gets
than
a
it was in-
tapeworm and then he keeps it as a pet.
Yeah.
And it's just not. That's not great.
like a stupid goldfish. Well, anyway, if you want to benefit from all of the things I just said, go to patreon.com/core show. Okay? We really appreciate those who are there. Thank you so much. It means a lot, and it makes it so we can do this show and more. So go check it out. That's patreon.com/core show. Everything else is at frogpants.com/core. And a reminder that we record on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Mountain Time right here at twitch.tv/frogpants. And I'd like to encourage people to join our Discord. If you have not done so, the Discord is hopping these days. Lots of discussion going on. The core channel in particular, always a ton of talk and discussion going on in there. And you don't have to be anything special to join that. Just go to frogpants.com/Discord and you're in. That's it. Simple, pimple, dimple, wimple.
You're in.
Urine.
Urine. Urea. All right. So it reminds me of your urea thing when you were drinking too much pop or whatever. Remember that, Bo? You were worried.
Oh
there was-
yeah. I feel like I don't want to remember that stupidity. Like that
Stop
to be
bringing it
forgotten
up,
in
Scott.
history.
Yeah, I really should stop bringing it up. All right.
I mean, I bring it up. I bring it up too. It's yeah.
well,
You're
here's the
drinking
good.
pee. Stop drinking Coke. You're drinking pee.
You're drinking pee, but don't worry. Grandma, with her fast reflexes, is now going to remind us what we played today, so that people can go out and find these games. Grandma, take it away.
It was a hell of a show with a lot of games, so I'm going to go through them real fast in case you didn't follow what they talked about. Scott played Hotel Renovator, that's the hotel game. He played Halls of Torment, that's the Diablo Survivors game. He played Dead Space Remake, that's the Dead Space game. He played Satisfactory Factorio and Dyson Sphere, those are the building things games. He played Immortals Phoenix Rising, and he barely talked about it, but I talked about it. John played Devil May Cry from the HD collection. He played Fortnite. He played Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Thank you, Sadden. He also played the Resident Evil 4 Remake demo and Octopath Traveler. And Bo played Farthest Frontiers. That's the building a town game. And then he built his own game. Play it. You can't.
Coming soon, but not yet.
You can't.
Try it. You can't.
Fast Grandma's like sassy.
She is sassy,
Yeah.
right? Man.
Sassy, yeah.
Yeah, you hurry Grandma up. Suddenly she becomes a real bitch. Just kidding. That's it for the show. Thank you all for listening. Be back here next time for more, and we will have played some Diablo by then, so we'll have a lot to say.
It's gonna be a big Diablo special next week.
Yeah, probably a lot
we're
to say
gearing
about
up
it.
for a lot of commentary. I hope it's good.
I do
You're
too.
gonna have a common game for sure.
That's right.
I mean, get ready for it. There's a lot of Diablo talk happening in our future.
Yep. If you don't want that, I don't know what to tell you. But I can tell you this. It's been great having you all here. Check us out then. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you next time. Oh, did you have something, Bo? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, let's pimp our streams. I imagine we're all streaming.
Oh, yeah, we're all streaming now. So it's
check our-
Frog Pants. You got Fractured Rogue. No, what is it? Tireless Rogue. What is
Craftless Rogue.
it? Craftless Rogue.
Why'd you name it that?
It used to be Revendon, and I always forget. There's that, and then Bo's is just Bo Schwartz now.
Craft.
Is yours
Craft.
Craftless Rogue, right?
Like craft dinner.
Craftless Rogue.
Craft
Yes.
with no craft dinner.
Like
just
a rogue
dinner.
that doesn't craft
Yes,
anything.
except craft with craft dinner, isn't it spelled with a K?
Oh, yeah. it
Yeah,
is.
oh yeah. It's yeah.
So you want to use a C.
Craft with the C dinner. I think I'm making it hard.
Great. We've created a new 10 hams.
Yeah, new 10 hams. Nicely done, everybody. And then Bo's at Bo Schwartz. Are you at Gorath still? I don't remember now.
I'm at Bo Schwartz, but I think I'm changing it back. Isn't it kind of random just using my
The
name?
video doesn't match up.
I don't know. I like it. Well, I don't know. Gorath was fun. I just didn't like how it had the 4 in it. You know?
I know.
We got to fix that.
You're okay with the 0, but just not the 4.
Yeah,
the
that's
4
right.
is the problematic one.
I forgot about the 0 because the 0 you could think of an O. I don't know. I change it to Bushburger. I don't know, something else, whatever you want.
Bushburger is a great
Bushburger.
Yeah,
streaming name.
Yeah.
Someone's taking it.
Go
already.
get it quick.
I gotta be Bushburger 69.
You gotta be quick. No, you just go check right now. Hold on. Twitch.tv. Well, I spelled Twitch wrong. Shit, I'm being too fast. Oh shit. Twitch.tv/Bush.
Wait, we gotta. Is it Bushburger mean something like Nazi style? By the way,
I hope not. Oh, there is someone. They're offline and have never done anything. Jerks, squatters.
I might as well just take the actual Gorath too. There's no Gorath.
I'm annoyed. All
Like
right.
a
Well,
description of me when my internet dies. They're offline and have never done anything.
all right. Well, that really will do it for us. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you next time.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Yes. Get more at frogpants.com.
Yay! Now we have to get rid of her. Throw her out the window in the hallway. She'll like the fountain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh boy.
That was
That's
that
good.
weird,
That's
freaking
the game you're playing.
yeah. The throwing the chicken out the window. So weird.
Sure, we're out the window. I really like that.
Such an odd game. Even for Chorecore standards, it's just like there's nothing like this in I guess in House Flipper you have like, oh, here's a cyberpunk style, or there's things like that.
Yeah, but those are packs. That's not just like Nosferatu's in the basement.
yeah, it's really, really weird.
I guess like hotels have